Part 210. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Niang. Chapter 2092. Zhang Xiangbei asks Sun Xiangyang to go to the conference room to pack a bag of sausages and bring it to Xiahua. Sun Xiangyang walked to the door, and Zhang Xiangbei caught up with him and said, "Pack 2 bags, and pack one for me." He thought of bringing a bag back for Zhang Xiangzi and his grandparents to try. They had never tasted this kind of sausage, especially grandma and grandma. Zhang Xiangbei always brought back pickles or meat products made by Gugong. Both of them behaved like two pioneer warriors, showing great curiosity. The two people were rustling and whispering to each other. What they were talking about was how the dish was so delicious, how was it marinated. They are pickling masters themselves and have enough confidence in their craftsmanship. The pickled vegetables and meat products can be eaten at home. What they like to do most is to give them to other old ladies in the community to win praise. After moving to the Meisi River, the old ladies in the original community were scattered all over Hangzhou, and it was not convenient to travel around. Their favorite place to go was the building of Jingxiu service to give their works to Sister Gihua and the others. And everyone in the office participated in it and won praises. But when faced with the things Gugong made, they often felt collapsed. Knowing that there are mountains outside the mountains and people outside the mountains, they tried to follow the routines they had figured out and imitate what Gugong did, but they all failed. And in the end, they returned to their old ways. They were curious and unconvinced, so they asked Xiangnan to take them to the food factory to see it. After seeing it, they felt that this food factory didn't seem to be anything special. It was just some pots and jars, but why were the things made there? No, the same. Gugild brought them blows one after another, but after each blow, they would like to know what new things Gugild had. Zhang Xiangbei knew that this bag of sausages would definitely be their day's scientific research topic tomorrow. Zhang Xiangbei and Sun Xiangyang arrived at Qianzhong New City and picked up Xiahua. Zhang Xiangbei asked Xiahua, "Are you here for daily fresh?" Xiahua said, "Right, however, we won't talk about business today, we will just drink. The business will be discussed in the office tomorrow. By the way, your aunt has already told Wu Huan that you will pick me up tomorrow and we will go to the company together." Zhang Xiangbei said yes. "Fat man, come with me. You are a shareholder of the company. We will have a meeting together tomorrow." Zhou Ruyi will be online, Xiahua and Sun Xiangyang said, and Sun Xiangyang also agreed. They arrived at the Xinyifang food street. There is a Yongcheng local restaurant here in Xinyifang. The owner and his wife are from Yongcheng. The spicy fish pot and meatballs they make are Yongcheng recipes. Ding Yusong and Yin Tao found this place. I took Zhang Xiangbei and Xiangnan to eat. Xinyifang Food Street imitates the ancient Jiangnan market model built along the river. Along both sides of the Yuhangtang River, there are imitated arcade shop buildings with the characteristics of ancient Chinese Huizhu architecture. The Yuhangtang River connects the Beijing-Hangzhou Grand Canal, with two sides of the river. There are weeping willows, waterside pavilions, squares, pavilions, corridors, sculptures, etc. interspersed in the commercial district. Luting Bridge, Kaying Bridge, and Gaijin Bridge are three ancient stone arch bridges with their own characteristics, connecting the neighborhoods on both sides of Yuhangtang River. Yongcheng local restaurant is located at the end of Kaying Bridge. At night, tables are set up on the terrace facing the river. In the summer, many people like to eat supper outside in the open air. As long as you can endure the non-stop the mosquitoes that attack you, and the muddy smell that comes from the Yuhangtang River from time to time. The three of them chose a table under the willow tree and sat down. A lamp was hung on the willow tree above their heads. From across the river, the sound of a singer singing in the bar came. The accompaniment was filtered by the night and distance. The horseman the sound, in this summer midnight, spread far away, sounding a little lonely and hysterical. Zhang Xiangbei held a pack of sausages in his hand. After sitting down and ordering, he handed the sausages to the waiter and said to her, "Cut it for us." The waiter asked, "Would you like to steam it for you again?" Zhang Xiangbei said, "No, no, just cut it into pieces. The sausage is to be eaten raw." The waiter was doubtful and went in with the sausage. After a while, he came out with a plate in one hand. On one plate was the fried duck head they ordered, and on the other plate was the sausage cut into thin slices for them. The chef and owner of the hotel followed and asked, "Master, where did you buy this sausage? I was very curious when I cut it, so I was embarrassed to steal a piece. It's so delicious. I've never tasted such a delicious sausage. It's not available yet, but it will be available on the Zaixian delivery website in a while," Zhang Xiangbei said with a smile. "That's great. I always buy vegetables from Zaixian Shui. When I buy them, I can cut them into a plate," the boss said. Sun Xiangyang asked, "Do you know Daily Fresh? Why didn't you go to Daily Fresh to buy vegetables?" The boss shook his head, "If you don't want to go, I will settle on Zaixian delivery." "Why?" Zhang Xiangbei asked. "I heard that the owner of Zaixian Shui is from Yongcheng. Of course fellow villagers have to help fellow villagers, don't you think so?" the boss asked. The three of them looked at each other and laughed. Zhang Xiangbei said, "It seems like we should order more dishes today." "Are you from Yongcheng too?" the boss asked. Zhang Xiangbei said, "Half of it, my father is from Yongcheng." Okay, let's give them a discount for this table later," the boss told the waiter, and then told Zhang Xiangbei and the others, "I'm going to cook. You guys eat slowly." Xiaohu and Sun Xiangyang were holding chopsticks, but they were a little afraid to put them down. Xiaohu asked, "Can this sausage really be eaten raw?" "Of course," Zhang Xiangbei said, took a piece and put it in his mouth, and said to them, "I was in the office in the afternoon and I ate a packet alone." "Why, fat man, Zhou Ruyi didn't tell you?" "What did you say?" Sun Xiangyang asked. "Zhou Ruyi ate half a pack in the car at noon today and called me to strongly recommend it," Zhang Xiangbei said. When the two of them heard what Zhang Xiangbei said, they both moved their chopsticks and put them in their mouths. Xiaohu shouted, "It's delicious, it's delicious, it's so delicious." Zhang Xiangbei said, "I brought you a bag. It's in the car." Xiaohu kept nodding, "Pair this with red wine, it's a perfect match." The next morning, it was rare for Zhang Chen and his family to get together for breakfast. Usually, they had to go to their own classes, and Zhang Xiangzi went to kindergarten. Everyone wanted to go to a different place, so the cost of traveling was very high. Everyone wakes up at different times. They all eat and go. One breakfast is divided into several groups. Today, because Zhang Chen, Xiaofang, and Zhang Xiangbei all had to go to Zaixiangxian for a meeting, and Zhang Xiangzi didn't go to kindergarten on his day off, everyone got together. Zhang Xiangbei took a pack of sausages and cut them in the kitchen. When he brought them out, everyone smelled the aroma and looked curious. When Zhang Xiangbei said that these were sausages that could be eaten raw, they quickly took off their chopsticks, and after tasting them, they were all full of praise. Zhang Chen's mother and Xiaofang's mother said they did a good job, but at the same time they looked frustrated. The fact that sausages can be eaten raw and still taste so delicious seems to be beyond their experience. Zhang Chen saw this and teased them. "How about it? It can't compare to them, right?" Zhang Chen's mother snorted and said unconvinced, "If I were like Gu Gong, who went to university and got a PhD, the sausages I make would definitely be delicious." Everyone laughed, and Lao Zhang said, "Does a doctor only make sausages? Then we don't need so many doctors. I think this has nothing to do with Dr. Bo Bu, this consultant just has the ability. There are so many doctors in the country, and he's the only one who can cook well. Grandpa, your evaluation is high enough, I will bring it to Gu Gong." Zhang Xiangbei remembered it and told Zhang Chen what Gu Gong had told him yesterday about the cooperation between Xixian Delivery and Food and Drink to launch cooking packages. Zhang Chen immediately felt that this was a good idea. Strange. Why didn't Xili and Du Tao tell me? They are afraid that if they tell you, they will be scolded by you for not doing their jobs properly and using their minds indiscriminately, Zhang Xiangbei said. This can be done immediately. The first phase of Yongqing's logistics base will be available next month. Several companies' warehouses will be moved here in Jubeo. Jubeo will have some warehouses vacated, and there is no rush to move them. To attract investment, you can free up that yard for your food factory. There is not enough space for the food and drink men and women there, so we have to move it to the warehouse here, Zhang Chen said. That's great. Our fresh delivery store can just be expanded. It's already very crowded now. As soon as Zhang Xiangbei said these words, he felt bad in his heart. He cursed himself in his heart and said, will there be another squeeze? You only have 1/3 of the market share left. After today, I don't know how many more people will be left. How much? It will be good if the current workshop can operate at full capacity. Zhang Xiangbei fell silent, lowered his head, and ate his breakfast. Zhang Chen and Xiaofang looked at each other, and Xiaofang smiled lightly. It smells so good. Lu Ligan walked in from outside, and Zhang Chen's mother quickly greeted him for breakfast. Lu Ligan came over and saw the sausages on the table. He stretched out his hand to grab it. Zhang Chen's mother hit the back of his hand with a chopstick. Lu Ligan said ouch, and Zhang Xiangzi chuckled. Zhang Chen's mother handed him a pair of chopsticks, and Xiaofang's mother served him a bowl of porridge. Lu Lipol sat down, chewed the sausage and said, it's delicious. Please pay attention to the craftsmanship. Why are you so early? Zhang Chen asked Lu Ligan. We're going to Shaoxing after dinner, Lu Ligan said. Are you going to Shaoxing? Xiaofang asked. Aren't you going to Laowan and Zheng Huiyang's house tonight? If you have time, I'll be back in the afternoon, Lu Ligan said. After dinner, everyone set off together. Zhang Xiangzi heard that they were all going to Jubeo and clamored to follow. Xiaofang said, we are going to work, why are you following? Zhang Xiangzi looked at Zhang Xiangbei pitifully, almost crying. Zhang Xiangbei squatted down and said to her, come up, I will take you there. Zhang Xiangzi quickly climbed onto Zhang Xiangbei's shoulders. Xiaofang said, we're in a meeting, why are we taking her with us? It's okay, Zhang Xiangbei said, you can let her play with Li Wei. Zhang Xiangzi wrapped his hands around Zhang Xiangbei's forehead and kept nodding his head. Let me tell you, what Bai Bei said makes the most sense. Thank you for the reward for the 2 fish, 1 above and the 3rd from top to bottom. Thank you for Wind and Wing, Dragon in the Sky, Shachin Mood, Robin Granite, Daos Hung 123, Fisherman at the Pier, Yuengzi, Tiger, Void and Broken Dreams, On the Road, for your daily monthly pass. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 2093. Zhang Xiangbei drove Zhang Xiangzi to Jianzhong New Town and took Xiahua with him. When they arrived at the company, Zhang Chen, Xiaofang, and Lu Yun were already waiting in the conference room of Zaixian Shui. As they arrived for the meeting, Zhang Xiangbei wanted to hand Zhang Xiangzi to Li Wei, but then he remembered that Li Wei was not here today and continued to visit big customers. Zhang Xiangbei led Zhang Xiangzi to the office of Wu Huan's assistant, Xiao Cao, and asked her to help look after Zhang Xiangzi. Zhang Xiangzi said, Bai Bei, I don't need anyone to take care of me. I'm not an old lady. Zhang Xiangbei and Xiao Cao both laughed. Xiao Cao and Zhang Xiangzi said, Zixi, can my sister show you a cartoon? Zhang Xiangzi said, I will do it myself. As she spoke, she sat down in Xiao Cao's seat, looked for cartoons on the computer, waved to Zhang Xiangbei in an old-fashioned way, and said to him, "Bai Bei, go to the meeting and leave me alone." Zhang Xiangbei walked to the conference room and sat down. Wu Huan called Wu Yu over. Wu Yu told them that this morning, the orders for individual users were still declining. Now, they have no longer 1/3 of the remaining individual users. Almost only 1/5. At the same time, the number of transfer orders from unit customers has also expanded to more than 40%, almost half. The situation is already very serious. Wu Huan said that if this trend continues to expand, even if they do not reduce prices in Shanghai and Hangzhou, they will reach the profit and loss point. The supply in the workshop exceeds the demand, and half of the production lines will have to stop, and the distribution vehicles and personnel the usage efficiency will also be greatly reduced. If that happens, there will be a lot of redundant staff. In order to save costs, Shanghai and Hangzhou will have to consider cutting staff, right? Xiaofang asked, and Wu Huan was right. There was a brief silence in the conference room. Everyone looked at the Daily Fresh website on the big screen, and their actions did not stop. Today's launch is a coupon event. For every purchase of 36 yuan, you can use a 5 yuan coupon. Until you reach one for 100 yuan, you can use a 20 yuan coupon, which is equivalent to another 13 to 20% reduction in vegetable prices. The more you buy, the deeper the reduction. Lu Yun sneered, "It seems that we have no choice this time." Wu Huan winked at Wu Yu, and Wu Yu stood up and went out. Only 7 people, Zhang Chen, Lu Yun, Xiaofang, Xia Huo, Zhang Xiangbei, Sun Xiangyang, and Wu Huan were left in the conference room. Zhou Ruyi was still on her way to the client. Before Zhang Xiangbei and Xia Huo arrived, she had already connected with Wu Huan. Zhou Ruyi said, "I'd better go find my clients. If I can find more clients, I'll count them all. You have your meeting. Whatever decision you make, I agree with it." At this time, neither Zhang Chen nor Xiaofang could say anything. Only Lu Yun was most suitable. Lu Yun looked at Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan and asked, "Bai Bei, Wu Huan, do you know clearly in your heart that this is a war that we cannot lose and cannot afford to lose? If Shanghai and Hangzhou cannot hold on, Daily Fresh will spread this model across the country. Copied everywhere, defeating us in one city after another, we have no way to retreat." Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan nodded. They had never thought of this. Any war is not launched suddenly on a whim. The person who initiates the war must have done a precise calculation in advance, that is, the troops and horses have not been moved, and the food and grass have to go first. What he wants to get and the price he is prepared to pay must have conducted sand table deductions. Generally speaking, it is said that there are only 2 situations that will make those who started the war stop the war. One is that the opponent is too powerful and the development of the war situation exceeds their prior expectations. The other is that the price they pay is too high and exceeds their expectations. This war has been prepared by the Baobao side for a year. He must have launched the initiative because he thought he had a chance of winning. Bai Bei and Wu Huan, have you ever estimated the price they are prepared to pay? Lu Yun looked at Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan and asked. Zhang Xiangbei said, "I asked Malin and others to calculate how much money they lost every day. Based on yesterday, in Hangzhou and Shanghai, they should lose more than 40 million yuan every day. Today they have launched a coupon activity, the loss should be bigger, but I really haven't thought about how much they are prepared to lose. Anyway, the amount will be staggering. Mr. Lu is right, Lao Ma will not fight an unprepared battle. From the fact that they fought so fiercely from the beginning, what I can tell is that they want a quick victory and won't give us a chance to breathe at all." Wu Huan said, "If we calculate it in terms of money, it should be in the billions." Lu Yun nodded and said, "Actually, the 4 of us had an afternoon meeting yesterday afternoon." Zhang Xiangbei looked at Xia Huo, who waved his hand to him and apologized for not contacting him immediately after arriving in Hangzhou. The reason I didn't tell you is because I don't want to disrupt your deployment at this time. Of course, I also want to see how well you two can withstand pressure. Lu Yun watched every move of Zhang Xiangbei and Xiahua. She added this sentence and continued. You two are the ones leading the troops on the front line. We only guarantee the support from the rear. Therefore, we need to clear out our own family assets first. At the same time, we also need to find out the other party's family assets. Once we have everything figured out, we only then can you decide what to do next. Xiao Fang, Xiahua, and I, based on our experience, we calculated the maximum preparations for daily fresh to fight this battle. Although Dabao has money, he can't do whatever he wants. The limit we are talking about is, in fact, it is the range of losses that Dabao's shareholders can bear for this war and to seize the top spot in China's fresh food delivery. We feel that the price they can pay is 20 billion yuan. If they pay 20 billion yuan and get the first place in fresh food delivery, it is worth it. The premium part of their stocks, or spin-off Daily Fresh if it is listed separately, the valuation will not be lower than that of Debo.com. For this, they are willing to spend a lot of money. As for time, we are not that optimistic and do not expect that they will end in a short time. The process of the war depends on the ebb and flow of the forces of both sides. The outcome of the war also depends on this. How long does it take to end this war? One possibility is that we surrender and be annexed, another is that they change their strategy, and the last one is that they are unable to continue fighting. This possibility is not impossible. Dabao has also done express delivery. It thought of taking advantage of its own supply of goods to unify the express delivery industry, but failed and failed. The express delivery company really doesn't match their style. They are two completely different businesses. Mr. Ma is not Lu Qiangdong. Lu Qiangdong moved goods from the computer city. He has no barrier with the logistics industry. Mr. Ma has always been a teacher. As a speaker, it can be said that he has never sweated profusely at all. He said that he had ridden on 3 wheels before, which is a lie. The biggest problem with their fresh food business is this. They only see the one end they are good at, but not the other end. They don't know that fresh food is directly connected to the fields, and that end is the most critical. Bye, you start with I just grabbed that end, which is rare and something most people wouldn't do. Anyway, we feel that if this war lasts too long, the closer it is to the annual report, the greater the pressure will be on them. By the way, do you agree with our judgments? Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan nodded. Lu Yun smiled and continued. I said at the beginning that this is a war that we cannot lose and cannot afford to lose. So the result of the discussion between the 4 of us yesterday was that if they want to fight, we will accompany them. We will fight as long as they want. As long as we stay with them, if they want to start a price war, we will follow their lead in a price war. Time does not matter how long it takes, and the land does not distinguish between east, west, north, and south. Anyway, wherever the war burns, we will fight him there. But, in this case, Wu Huan looked at Lu Yun and said, thinking, of course it is easy to fight, but need food and grass. Right. Lu Yun looked at Zhang Chen and the others and asked Wu Huan with a smile. Wu Huan nodded and said, it's not just a protracted war, it's also a war of attrition and a price war. It sounds nice, but it's actually a waste of money. It must be burned when it needs to be burned. So we called Xiahua over. Lu Yun said, I said, you are leading the troops to fight, and we are providing support from behind. Yesterday afternoon, we discussed it. Since the other party's limit is 20 billion yuan, we here are prepared to have 6 billion yuan. The total is 24 billion, plus the billions on the account of Zaixianshu, you have a total of 25 billion. 25 billion, is it enough to fight this battle? Are you confident that we can win? Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan were both stunned. 205 billion? Both of them felt a little stupid. If 25 billion were dropped to start a price war with Daily Fresh, Zhang Xiangbei felt that not even a single intact stone would be left on the battlefield. In fact, the four of them, Lu Yun, discussed it all afternoon yesterday and finally decided that their family would prepare 6 billion to fight this battle. It was not without reason. They had also done the actuarial calculation. Lu Yun was right, this was indeed an unforgivable battle. If you don't fight, you can't lose the war. As for the fresh food delivery, for now, the one with the largest scale and the largest market share in China is Xixiandian. The fresh food delivery has achieved the first place in the country. In fact, it is also the first in the world. It is no longer the best in the world. There is no country whose fresh food delivery market is as big as China's. This is also the reason why Dabao.com covets this market and will not hesitate to spend a lot of money to disrupt the situation. After this battle, Zaixianshui will have nothing to lose as long as it maintains its number one position, and other challengers will be frightened. I dare not follow in the footsteps of Dabao and come in to challenge. After this battle, the valuation of Zaixianshao will definitely skyrocket to hundreds of billions. It is expected that it will surpass Dabao and become the largest internet business platform in the country in the future. It will not be very far away. They must keep this first place. Keeping this first place also keeps their gold. In this industry, second place is meaningless. As for the source of funds, Xiaofang and Lu Yun's companies have tens of billions of funds that they can mobilize. Xiaohu's Fuban Financial Holdings certainly has no problem. The funds that can be withdrawn from Zhang Chen's half an acre of land are 2 billion and 4 billion. Originally, the land of their national logistics base could be used as pledge, but that would require third-party evaluation of each project, which is it takes a lot of effort, but I'm afraid it's too late in terms of time. Zhang Chen and Xiaohu have already discussed that he will personally use the world-famous paintings from the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery as pledge to borrow 4 billion from Xiaohu and Fuban Financial Holdings, and then use the 4 billion as a shareholder loan. Give half an acre of land. The specific operation method is still the same as that designed by Xiaohu's mother, MSCAI, and the others last time. For this batch of world-famous paintings, they only register the collateral and go through the pledge procedures, and conduct third-party notarization. Formally, Zhang Chen repays the money. Previously, the ownership of this batch of works had been transferred to Fuban Financial Holdings, but the paintings continued to be displayed at the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery. Thank you for the monthly votes of Shachin Mood, Jinwu Longji, Shuyo Scooter, No Future, Just Remember the Original Intention, Tamaki, Yunlong Frogfish, Zipanjiang 1, Zhao 1017, Zi Zhang said, Shuyo 201705191433499608, and Shuyo 1611222221050244. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 2094. While Lu Yun was talking, Zhang Xiangbei sat there silently. Lu Yun saw this and asked, "Bai Bei, what do you think?" Zhang Xiangbei expressed what he was most worried about. He said, "Once a price war starts, for Daily Fresh, their scope is Hangzhou and Shanghai. We are not. All our cities across the country will be affected. It is impossible to say that the prices in Shanghai and Hangzhou have been adjusted. Other cities will not move. Customers in these cities can see the prices in Hangzhou and Shanghai. We will be scolded to death. And if other cities follow suit and the limit of daily fresh food is 20 billion, then even 200 billion won't be enough for us, and we will be dragged to death." Lu Yun looked at Xiaofang, and both of them laughed. Zhang Xiangbei looked at them, wondering what was so funny about his words. Zhang Xiangbei asked. Isn't that right? Bai Bei, we have thought about what you said. It is indeed a very troublesome problem. We were worried that you didn't think of it. But we are very happy that you did, Xiaofang said, but this problem, it can be broken. How to break it? Zhang Xiangbei asked. Fight in a high profile, Xiaofang said. A high profile fight? What do you mean? Zhang Xiangbei didn't understand and continued to ask. Before the war begins, we must vigorously publicize that we are prepared to engage in a price war with Daily Fresh in Hangzhou and Shanghai. We will publicize this war to everyone. Everyone knows that our two companies are in Shanghai and Hangzhou. There is a price war in the city. When I see such a price, I know and understand it. I know that this price is abnormal. Where can I buy 1.5 pounds of potatoes for 50 cents? After everyone understands that we are in their city and the price has not been adjusted, they will understand that this is the normal price because Daily Fresh did not go there and there was no price war there. That's what I said. The advantage of our high-profile fight is to fight it until everyone understands it, Xiaofang said. But in this case, everyone will look forward to the arrival of Daily Fresh in their cities, and hope that price wars will also occur in their cities, Zhang Xiangbei said. Bai Bei, let me ask you, can we decide which city Daily Fresh will enter? After they enter that city, do you think they will not move the ones in Shanghai and Hangzhou? Even if we don't want to fight a price war with him, he will still fight with us. Just like now, if you haven't done anything here, they still keep increasing the price. Has it stopped? Now in Hangzhou and Shanghai, we have lost more than half of our market share. When they arrive in the new city, they will continue to fight, and we will continue to be gentle, courteous, and thrifty. Then there is only one answer. Even if we are in that city, we will also lose more than half of our market share. Market share. Daily Fresh hasn't grown up yet. When they really grow up, we won't have a chance to fight them. We will have to be the second child. When the whole country is beaten, we will have no chance to stand up. Have you ever thought about this? Xiaofang's words made Zhang Xiangbei stunned. Thinking about it carefully, it seemed that what Xiaofang said was reasonable. Such a situation would probably happen. If so, he would have no choice but to cope with it. The whole country is being chased and beaten by Daily Fresh. If we want to prevent this from happening, we cannot let the war spread. We must snipe on the spot, limit the scope to Shanghai and Hangzhou, and fight him head-on. We will beat him until he is hurt and scared. We have paid a heavy price here. The price, in this way, can actually achieve the purpose of promoting peace through war, so that they will not dare to fight us in other cities. Our current advantage is that we are one step ahead of them. As long as we continue to maintain this leading advantage, our number one position will be unshakable. Bai Bei, you are with Gu Gong every day. He must have told you that in the historically, appeasement policy has never brought peace. Neither Chamberlain's appeasement policy in Britain nor Pétain's passive defense in France could stop the German attack. In China, Wang Jingui and other peaceful factions have also brought disaster to the country and the nation. Victory is always won. This is true of traditional wars, and the same is true of business wars. No great company is born without cruelty. Stand out from the competition. Lu Yun and Zhang Xiangbei said, the high-profile fight that Xiaofang said has another advantage, that is, it will make the other party very passive, but we do not have such pressure. The two sides really started to fight in Shanghai and Hangzhou. War, competition burns money, and if everyone at home and abroad knows about it, by then, even if they want to burn money, will their shareholders be willing? Many shareholders, when they first bought their stocks, wanted to make short-term speculation and make a profit. When they saw them burning money like this, they knew that this would definitely be detrimental to the company's profits. These shareholders would express their opinions and put pressure on Daibao to stop them from continuing to burn money like crazy. By then, Daibao will be at a loss. On the other hand, you, Zaixian Shui, don't have this pressure. The shareholders of Zaixian Shui are all in this conference room today, and our shareholders have all reached a unanimous resolution and agreed to compete with them to burn money. So, at this time, as long as we persist, they may be forced to withdraw from the competition due to pressure. I agree with the opinions of Mr. Liu and Mr. Gan. I also think that we should go to war with them head-on. I was originally worried that our own capital chain would not be enough to support us in a price war with them. But now that there is no problem with funds, I support fighting them. Wu Huan looked at Zhang Xiangbei and said. In the conference room, everyone looked at Zhang Xiangbei, waiting for him to express his position. Then what? Zhang Xiangbei raised his head and asked. What then, Bai Bei? Lu Yun asked. We started a price war with them and lowered the prices in Shanghai and Hangzhou, even lower than them. I admit that we have this condition better than them because our other cities are still making money, namely Shanghai and Hangzhou. Even if the city does not make money, or even loses money, it will not affect the overall structure of our company. In addition, your new funds will come in, and we have the capital to win. What I want to ask is, if we win the price war and clear them out, what will we do next? Zhang Xiangbei asked. Then treat this as an interlude, and we will continue to develop according to our established steps. And I am sure that by then, the environment of Zaixian delivery will definitely be much better than it is now. It is not the case now. I know how many people are ready to start a war with us. If we can hit you with a painful blow, others will have to consider it, Lu Yun said. What about Hangzhou and Shanghai? Zhang Xiangbei asked. Hangcheng and Shanghai, Lu Yun said, of course they are cleaning up the battlefield and regaining lost ground. How to regain it? Zhang Xiangbei smiled and said, my understanding is that by that time, there will be no daily fresh anyway, at least no daily fresh as aggressive and ferocious as today. We can start adjusting the price back, right? Of course, Lu Yun said. What about customers? What will happen from the customer's point of view? Zhang Xiangbei said, customers are very realistic. What they will do is scold us every time we adjust the price, right? They are just, it doesn't matter whether we lowered the price in order to fight a price war with daily fresh, they will really miss the days when we were fighting a price war. So what? Wu Huan asked. Zhang Xiangbei said, I know they can't do anything. By then, they have no choice because daily fresh is no longer available, and if we return it to normal prices, it will still be better than other small grocery shopping websites because of the low prices at the farmers market. They had no choice but to accept us, but they were forced to accept us unwillingly and full of anger. Does Zaixian delivery really want to grow and survive in such an environment? Lu Yun sighed and said, Bai Bei, you are too idealistic. Yes, I know, Zhang Xiangbei said, I know it's silly to cherish feathers too much, but I still don't want home fresh delivery to be like this. The home fresh delivery in my mind is not such. I hope that it will be honest with its customers, our suppliers, employees, and the farmers we help, and will not use them as pawns or tools. I won't say, I need you now, I'll give you a little sweetness, and when I don't need you anymore, I'm sorry, no matter how you scold me, I don't care, I still have to get what I should get from you. I took it in my hand without saying a word. Furthermore, from a corporate governance perspective, I feel that if such a trend and style is formed from top to bottom, the gains will definitely outweigh the losses in the end. In this company, everyone will be fooling you in the end. Fool me, I'll fool you, you can fool the people above, you can fool the people below, you just have to find a way to get through the hurdle in front of you, you can do whatever it takes. Do you really hope that Zaixian Shui will become such a company? When others have no bottom line, we will also have no bottom limit. How easy is it to start a price war? Just throw money at it? What kind of technical content does this have? Even fools can do it too, but I don't want to be such a fool. Bai Bei, It's urgent now and time waits for no one. So tell me, if you don't start a price war with Daily Fresh, how can you stabilize the current situation? Xiaofang asked. No, I haven't thought of a good way yet, Zhang Xiangbei said. However, I think there will be. Time really waits for no one now. We are all about to be cleared. So, give me 2 days. Let me think about it. If I can't think of any way, I will admit it. In order for the more than 10,000 employees of the Shanghai and Hangcheng companies to survive, I must fight. Okay, Zhang Xiangbei, I believe you. I will wait in Hangzhou, Xiaohu said. Zhang Xiangbei nodded and said, thank you, Xiaohu. Thank you also to my godmother, Aunt Xiaofang, and my father. Thank you for being able to support me like this and support me with fresh home delivery. I know that 205 billion is not a small number, it must be very difficult for you to make such a decision, so I have to be more cautious. This time the meeting ended like this, with no conclusion or consensus. When a few people went downstairs, Lu Yun and Zhang Chen Xiaofang Xiaohu said that we still have to prepare first. Bai Bei here, let him think about it. Even if we don't use this money, we still have to prepare it. We don't know what crazier things daily food will do if we are really pushed into a hurry, Lu Yun said. Several other people said yes. Thank you for the reward of 2 fishes. Thank you for the monthly votes of Busy in the Busy, Busy in the Busy, Fantasy in the Wind, Chen NK, Dora Eamon, That Year A, ZSW, Book Friends 201911021135467118. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 2095. Zhang Xiangbei drove his car and walked aimlessly on the road, thinking about what Lu Yun and Xiaofang had just said in the conference room. Zhang Xiangbei felt that he had begun a search process again, just like he was looking for the key to unlock the last kilometer problem. What he needed to find now was still a key that could unlock the predicament in front of him. However, this time there is a time limit. Both Xiaofang and Lu Yun are right. Zaixianshu is now like the Chinese football team. It can be accompanied by the classic commentary, there is not much time left for them. Zhang Xiangbei must find this key within 2 days, otherwise, he will have to bite the bullet and fight this price war that is destined to be tragic and money-burning. Zhang Xiangbei is not afraid of burning money, but he feels that this is not money he earned. Whether it is 20 billion or 200 billion, it is really boring and has no technical content at all. Just like when I was at Yale, I could lie down every day, and the money in the card would automatically come in. Dad would give him money, and Aunt Xiaofang would give him money. Even his grandfather and grandma would receive their monthly pensions. They would also give him money when they came down. They knew that Zhang Xiangbei was not short of money, but they would still give him money. Giving him money itself had become a concern. That is, Zhang Xiangbei is their grandson. His grandson is studying outside and has no job yet. They have to do their best for his grandson. It is not about the amount of money, but about their heart. They pay money on time every month and they have learned about the important things they must do every month and have a sense of ritual. Otherwise, they would not even need to receive their pensions. Every month, Xiaofang would put a lot of money in the kitchen drawer, just like when Xiao Zhao was alive. The money was already far greater than the family expenses, but grandpa and grandma would not use this money to buy things. If they give it to Zhang Xiangbei, they will definitely use their pension to call Zhang Xiangbei. The same applies to the money for Zhang Xiangzi's kindergarten. Xiaofang will put it in a drawer, but they will still use their own pension to pay for the tuition. It is their granddaughter, and they think it is natural. There is always no shortage of money in Zhang Xiangbei's card. He also has the supplementary card of his father's credit card, which he can swipe at will. However, Zhang Xiangbei still feels that he needs to make money, first to earn his own living expenses, and after earning, he felt that even the food tasted delicious. Then he went to earn his own tuition. After earning it, he felt that learning was for himself. The time he spent studying in school could be monetized and calculated in currency, and these currencies could also be used in his own sweat. And those who calculate hard, in this way, if you don't study hard, you will be sorry for yourself. Then, Zhang Xiangbei went to earn money to buy gifts for Xiangnan. Zhang Xiangbei felt that it would be very shameful for a man to spend his parents' money even to give gifts to girls. If so, even if you can give away a world, so what? Is that world yours? Save it. Zhang Xiangbei felt that it would be the same when he started his own company. If he had no other choice, he really hoped that fresh food delivered to home could be started slowly, but the reality was cruel. And Xiaofang persuaded him and he had to accept it. That 2 billion, otherwise this project would not be possible, so Zhang Xiangbei could only choose to accept it. After accepting it, he wanted to earn back the 2 billion as soon as possible. He did it. Now he has earned an unknown number of 2 billion from Zaixianshu. He feels that he has the ability to cooperate with any company. At this time, Zhang Xiangbei was unwilling to accept the 25 billion in a price war. If he had earned the 250 billion by himself, he might not feel as tight in his chest as he does now, but that is not, it was not earned by you, let alone yours, it is 25 billion, what does it have to do with you? Save it. Zhang Xiangbei doesn't want to do this kind of thing that has no technical content and requires almost no brain, and he doesn't want to become unkempt by delivery at home. If a person is unkempt and embarrassed to go out, why do you still do it when your company is unkempt? Can you accept it calmly and speak out without shame? Don't you have a split personality? Just save it. Companies are used to make money. Only when a company makes money can it be able to do a lot of things and change the world a little bit, not to lose money. Zhang Xiangbei despises the kind of people who keep burning money and burning money. Zhang Xiangbei thinks that such people are shameless and no different from liars. You clearly have no ability to make money. All you know is deception. You deceived investors before going public and defrauded stockholders after going public. For such a person, how dare you say that you are a business owner? Save it. Zhang Xiangbei hopes that his company will be a clean company, a company that truly has the ability to make money cleanly. That day at home, sitting in front of his mother, Zhang Xiangbei asked his mother why it was so difficult to do this. Didn't say anything, just looked at him with a smile. Zhang Xiangbei understood that his mother's look was telling him, "Bai Bei, you know what to do, you know." Zhang Xiangbei was thinking about it when he suddenly woke up and realized that he had somehow arrived at the expressway toll gate. There was a car following behind him and it was too late to turn back. Zhang Xiangbei got the card, got on the highway, stepped on the accelerator, and the car kept accelerating faster and faster. Only then did Zhang Xiangbei feel that he was on the highway and could finally breathe. He let out a long breath. These days, Xiangnan and the others perform in the small theater in the center of Yongcheng at night, and have to rehearse every afternoon. Because it is a new play, and these 10 days in Yongcheng are the premieres, Xiangnan and the others have to show up for the evening performance every day. The small mistake was corrected in the rehearsal the next day. This time they performed a new play by Lao Tuo. It was written at the request of the propaganda department of the Hangzhou City Party Committee and was based on the activities of fresh delivery at home and helping at home. Of course, in the play, the words home delivery were not used. Fresh delivery and Zhang Xiangbei's name are suspected of helping the company to promote the company, but Suishuabang is still Suishibang, and everyone thinks this name is good. In the play, Xiangnan can be said to be acting in his true colors. He plays the girlfriend of the male protagonist in the play. The male protagonist Ling Zheng is actually Zhang Xiangbei. However, the boss did not write him as a rich second generation, but as a poor person. The son of a farmer, He had excellent grades. After graduating from college, he was admitted to Yale and studied abroad. After completing his studies, he returned to China, still thinking of serving the countryside and farmers. After the performance in Yongchang, Xiongnan and the others will start a tour in all districts and counties in Hangzhou. When they were rehearsing, Xiangnan and Lao Tuo repeatedly encouraged Zhang Xiangbei to look. Lao Tuo and Zhang Xiangbei said, "Go and see how much you are reflected in Ling Zheng's body. I will follow your instructions of." Zhang Xiangbei said, "Save it, you won't go even if you kill me. I don't want to see Lan Hua pointing at me." Xiangnan laughed on the edge. The male actors in the troupe, because of their profession, have to step off the stage. In real life, their behavior and style will inevitably be a bit stage-like and look a bit girly. Of course, the actor who plays Ling Zheng in the drama also it's inevitable. Zhang Xiangbei looked at Xiongnan and smiled. Xiangnan asked, "Why are you laughing?" Zhang Xiangbei said, "I didn't expect you to like sissy men." "What did you say?" Xiangnan raised his eyebrows and pointed at Zhang Xiangbei. "Zhang Xiangbei, try it again." Zhang Xiangbei chuckled, "I didn't say anything." Zhang Xiangbei finally did not come to watch the performance or rehearsal of this play. In the past, he could say that he would not be absent from every play of Xiangnan, but this one. Xiangnan was rehearsing on the stage. When Ling Zheng decided to leave Shanghai and go back to his hometown in the countryside, his girlfriend and he were having an argument. Xiangnan's eyes suddenly opened wide and he looked at the back of the theater, where the actor who played Ling Zheng being taken away from the scene by Xiangnan's sudden appearance. He was curious and couldn't help but turn his head and follow Xiangnan's line of sight. "Stop, stop, stop, you two, what's going on?" Ding Yusong, who was the director, shouted loudly and stopped the rehearsal. He turned around and couldn't help laughing. He saw Zhang Xiangbei sitting in the corner of the theater at the back. Looking at the stage, he didn't know that this guy was sitting here. "How long have you been sitting?" Ding Yusong clapped his hands. "Okay, that's it for today." "No, it's not finished yet," continue Xiangnan said. The rehearsal continued, and Xiangnan on the stage never looked towards Zhang Xiangbei again until the whole play was finished. Actors' peripheral vision is very powerful. When they perform on stage, they often need to observe the reaction of the audience from the corner of their eyes. Xiongnan didn't seem to look at Zhang Xiangbei again, but she had actually been observing Zhang Xiangbei with her peripheral vision. He was sitting here, but his eyes were dull, and his thoughts had already flown to nowhere. If you ask him what is happening on stage at this time, he will definitely not know. Xiangnan is too familiar with this guy and this expression. Growing up, when Zhang Xiangbei has such an expression, something big must have happened. At this time, his eyes are empty. When you look at him, it's as if your whole being will fall into it. Ding Yusong also knew that it was unusual for Zhang Xiangbei to appear here at this time. After the rehearsal, when Yin Tao wanted to step down and walk towards Zhang Xiangbei, Ding Yusong grabbed him and took him away. Xiongnan walked to the corner where Zhang Xiangbei was sitting, sat down next to him, and asked, "Why are you here? What's the matter?" "It's okay," Zhang Xiangbei said with a smile, "I drove it here." Xiangnan also smiled and said nothing more. Instead, he took Zhang Xiangbei's hand and held it in his own. Xiangnan knew that something must be wrong, but at this time, if you ask him, he will definitely tell you it's okay, you just have to wait slowly, wait for him to warm up, wait until he is ready to tell you, and then he will talk endlessly as soon as he opens his mouth. The lights in the auditorium in the theater were not turned on. Only the stage was brightly lit due to rehearsal. Now that the rehearsal was over, the last person to leave the backstage turned off the lights on the stage, and the entire theater suddenly fell into darkness. Xiangnan's head leaned over, and the two turned sideways and hugged each other, kissing in the dark. After a while, Xiangnan burst into laughter. "Why are you laughing?" Zhang Xiangbei asked in the darkness. Have you seen it? Xiang Nan asked. What did you see? That orchid refers to myself. No, Zhang Xiangbei sighed, I just saw you. The two men then kissed. Thank you, Dragon, for your monthly pass. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening, everyone. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 2096. Zhang Chen and the four of them went to Dehuayuan in a car. When they arrived, they first went to their home and sat for a while. Zheng Huiyang called and asked if they had arrived. Xiao Fang said that they had arrived and we came over. Lao Wan and Zheng Huiyang's home is in the second phase of Dehuayuan. They are separated from Zhang Chen and others by a mountain kernel. It takes 7 or 8 minutes to walk. Fortunately, there are lush trees along the way. Although the sun has not set yet, there is no sunlight at all. On this road, coupled with the gentle breeze in the mountains, I didn't feel stuffy while walking. Lao Wan was waiting for them at the fork in the road near their house. He smiled when he saw them approaching from a distance. There were no fences between the villas in Dehuayuan. They were all separated by roads and plants. Entering this fork in the road, as long as Lao Wan in case they are one family. After entering the door, someone called Mr. Zhang, but it was not Zheng Huiyang, but a little girl wearing work clothes for food and drink, men and women. Zheng Huiyang heard the sound, came out, smiled and said to Zhang Chen and others. Lao Wan and I were so unsatisfied when cooking, so we called them food and drinking men and women. Mr. Zhang, your food and drinking men and women's are now very good. This little girl told me that today there are more than a dozen tables in Dehuayuan alone. Stealing our business, Tan Shuhen and Zhang Chen joked. Usually, when people here treat guests, they usually get takeout from our hotel, or go to the hotel restaurant to eat, but now they have become you food and drink men and women. I want the security guard to you are not allowed to come in. There is a man who eats everything here, Lu Ligan said. Lao Wan won't ask his hotel to deliver him. What can you do? Everyone laughed. Zhang Chen walked to the kitchen to take a look. The chef sent here today was Du Tao's apprentice. Zhang Chen chatted with him for a few words. Zheng Huiyang came in and asked, is it okay? Du Tao's apprentice said it was okay. Everyone sat down, and the waiter served the food very quickly, because all the preliminary preparations had been done. The chef arrived here. The 2 gas stoves at home were used to stew and steam, and the camphor tea duck was roasted in the oven. The single-head high-fire stove that I brought is mainly responsible for stir-frying. The firepower is very strong. The stir-frying time is less than half that of an ordinary household gas stove. After a while, a table of dishes was served. Zheng Huiyang sighed. I don't know, Mr. Zhang, my colleague recommended me to order it. It's so convenient. We would be exhausted from cooking a few dishes ourselves. After they came for a while, there was such a big table. Professionals are professionals. You can't accept it? Zhang Chen teased her. Zheng Huiyang, what you said is so nice, do you want me to give you a discount? I don't have the authority. If you want a discount, you have to call Xyli. Everyone laughed, and Zheng Huiyang said, I didn't even tell Xyli that this order was placed by me, and it was you who invited it. Otherwise, Xyli wouldn't have come over in person. The waiter filled them with wine. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan Laoan drank white wine, Zheng Huiyang and Xiao Fang drank red wine, and Tan Shuhen drank drinks. It's not that she doesn't know how to drink, but she has been an actress for a long time and has some psychological problems with drinking. Although I have stopped being an actor, singing or practicing my voice for a long time now, I still feel guilty every time I pick up the wine. I feel like I'm giving up on myself and feel sorry for my throat, so I try not to drink when I can. Since drinking doesn't bring pleasure, why drink? Zheng Huiyang picked up the wine glass and toasted everyone first. After putting down the glass, Zheng Huiyang and Zhang Chen said, Mr. Zhang, Lao Wan, and I have been with you since the beginning. You have been very helpful to us. I always feel very embarrassed about some recent things. Although there is no other way, it is all for work, but I think, I'm still offended, even Bai Bei may have opinions about me now, so I'd like to apologize to you first. Zhang Chen looked at Zheng Huiyang and asked, what do you mean, Zheng Huiyang, do you think I am the kind of person with a chicken belly? No, no, it's just that I can't live with it, Zheng Huiyang said. I told Lao Wan, and Lao Wan also told me to be measured, and I know it in my heart, but when I start working. Zheng Huiyang looked at Xiao Fang, and Xiao Fang smiled and said, it's okay, Sister Huiyang. The people here are all people who don't recognize each other when they work. Everyone understands. Tan Shahen patted Zheng Huiyang's hand and said to her, it's two different things. How do you say that? Each one is his own master, and it's normal for relatives not to recognize each other, Lu Ligan added, although this is a bit too bastard, let's just say that people are in the world and can't help themselves. That bastard called me countless times about this matter, and I was scolded by him countless times, Lao Wan said. When I see the phone call from a bastard, I get a headache. Zhang Chen and the others imagined that the bastard was holding the phone, and they didn't know how many forced idiots they would scold in one breath, so they couldn't help laughing. Zhang Chen said, okay, let's not talk about work today, let's just drink. Everyone raised their glasses and clinked them. Zheng Huiyang said, Mr. Zhang, this eat for men and women dish is so delicious and so convenient. My colleagues told me that you can't eat for men and women. If you get into it, you won't be able to quit it. The nanny at home has nothing to do. Let's take a look today. Really, from now on, whoever still cooks at home and can eat the dishes cooked by the nanny will definitely be called them. Don't just say nice things, give your opinions, Zhang Chen said. I have no objection, I just want to eat it, Zheng Huiyang said. Although they said they were not talking about work, what else could these people talk about when they were together? Soon, Lao Wan started talking about the project with Tan Shahen. Zheng Huiyang, Xiao Fang, and Zhang Chen, whether intentionally or not, still talked about the project. Arrived at home delivery. Lu Ligan's company, and what he is doing now, although he has nothing to do with any of them, he is involved in everything. One moment he is chatting with Lao Wan and others about projects, and the next moment he is chatting with Zheng Huiyang and others about home delivery. Zheng Huiyang said to Zhang Chen, Xiao Fang seriously, although we are fighting fiercely now. Xiao Fang interrupted Zheng Huiyang half jokingly and half seriously. You were fighting fiercely, one move after another, but we didn't move. Do you see any action on our part? No, it was the same as it was before, and it's still the same now. Even you are buying high, selling low, and engaging in dumping. We are all there is no follow-up, but if you bully others too much, we will have to resist passively, but you are the one who provoked it. Well, I can't say anything about you, Xiao Fang. Zheng Huiyang looked at Xiao Fang and smiled. However, let me tell you one thing. Yesterday, Lao Ma also communicated with me. We still want to merge with Zaixian Shui, but we have adjusted our thinking. We don't want to participate in the shares, but want to completely merge and prepare for every during this period of Nissan. We also felt that this fresh food delivery company cannot do it if there are too many people who come up with ideas, so it must be done with single-minded focus. I think it's difficult for you to do what Zaixian delivery can do, so you just want to save trouble and eat us in one bite. Xiao Fang was not polite and pushed back. Yes, you are right, but to be honest, there are other companies that cannot be merged by others. We are serious about it. If so, you should also seriously consider it, Zheng Huiyang said. How much? Lu Ligan asked. How much does Malayao want to spend to buy Zaixian Shui? Zheng Huiyang hesitated and said, well, since there are no outsiders anyway, I can reveal that our internal assessment is 13.5 billion. Lu Ligan made a sound. I have bought it for 13.5 billion. I have pledged all the projects. I can also use this money to merge Zhaxian Shui and Renjia Travel. There is no business conflict. US dollars, I mean 13.5 billion US dollars, Zheng Huiyang said. That's 90 billion yuan. This price is okay, Lu Ligan said. You Malao Yao are really rich. After completion, I am afraid it will be the largest merger case in the domestic internet, Zheng Huiyang said. Then your boss, Ma, is not Feng Qingyang, but Dong Fangbubi. He can dominate the world of fresh food delivery, right? Xiao Fang asked with a smile. Zheng Huiyang shook her head and said with a smile, Xiao Fang, when have you ever forgiven anyone with your mouth? Zheng Huiyang then said to Zhang Chen, Mr. Zhang, please think about it seriously. Tan Shahen said, Zheng Huiyang, don't be picky. Knowing that Zhang Chen is easy to talk to, you still need to talk to Xiao Fang and Lu Yun about the fresh delivery matter. It's useless to talk to any of us. Bai Bei still has the final say on the Zaixian delivery matter. If he wants to sell it, we support it. If he doesn't want to sell it, we also support it, Xiao Fang said. Sister Huiyang, are you really? If you want to talk, you don't have to look for anyone else, just look for Bai Bei. Okay, I'll go find him again in a few days, Zheng Huiyang said. Bai Bei is still angry with me. Zhang Chen got curious and asked, why is he angry with you? Zheng Huiyang told them about her phone call with Zhang Xiangbei that night, and sighed, Bai Bei still knows the general idea. He's not that petty, Tan Shahen said. Xiao Fang smiled and said nothing. Wu Huang told her about what happened that night. She also thought that Zhang Xiangbei did the right thing and thought deeply about things. Lao Wan said, that night, the second-rate guy actually called me and asked me to come over. Have you gone? Lu Ligan asked. I went, but when I arrived, they had already withdrawn, Lao Wan said. What would you do if we didn't evacuate? Lu Ligan continued to ask. Lao Wan looked at Zheng Huiyang and said, there is no other way. We have no choice but to destroy the relationship out of justice. Zheng Huiyang looked at him angrily, the others laughed, and Lu Ligan said, yes, Lao Wan, you can still rely on me. Back home, Xiao Fang asked Zhang Chen, dear, tell me, when Zheng Huiyang invited us in the evening, did she want to clear up the misunderstanding, or did she want to continue talking about the acquisition of Zhaxian Shui? All of them, Zhang Chen said. Lao Wan probably brought up the invitation to dinner. He didn't want everyone's relationship to be too tense. Although work is work and friends are friends, if there is any conflict at work, feelings will still be hurt in the end, and it's difficult for Lao Wan to do it in the middle. Treating us to this meal not only eases everyone's tension, but also serves as a preventive measure. You're right, you still know Lao Wan and Zheng Huiyang, Xiao Fang said. However, one thing is certain, that is, as long as we and Bai Bei do not bite the bullet and there is no acquisition negotiation, Daily Fresh will not expand in other cities, Zhang Chen said. How do you know? Xiao Fang asked curiously. Think about it, Zhaxian and Zhaxian Shui are two companies that completely overlap in business model and scope. If Mr. Ma decides to acquire Zhaxian Shui, will he continue to expand? That would be an ineffective investment. After the merger, even how to deal with personnel will be a problem. Xiao Fang thought about Zhang Chen's words and it made sense. Unless he was out of his mind, he would waste so much money. While he wanted to acquire Zhaxian Shui, he continued to expand Daily Fresh. Once the acquisition was successful, when two companies merge into one, there will be thousands of redundant personnel in each city. Demobilization and resettlement will indeed be a big trouble. Then you tell me, why did they launch Daily Fresh in Hangzhou and Shanghai again? Xiao Fang asked. After the merger, Hangzhou and Shanghai will also have overlap. This is the minimum price, Zhang Chen said with a smile. Teacher Ma is using war to promote reunification. If I guessed correctly, Zheng Huiyang not only found you, I think she must also have found Lu Yun, Xiaohu, and Zhang Xiangbei. It turned out that it was impossible to easily acquire Zai Xianshui, that's why we took this trick, and it was so ruthless when we first made it, which made us feel the crisis and pressure. We feel the pressure from them and are a little scared. If they make an acquisition proposal at this time, we feel that the possibility of us accepting it will be greatly increased. Zheng Huiyang hasn't looked for you, Xiao Fang asked. No. Why? She knows me well and knows that as long as you agree, I will definitely have no objections and I can be ignored, Zhang Chen said with a smile, but think about it, since they are promoting reunification through war, then they will be in Hangzhou, Chengdu and Shanghai will continue to take action and will not reduce the pressure on us. Zhang Chen said. Xiao Fang nodded thoughtfully. Thank you, Mike, for the reward of 2 fishes, 1 up and 1 down. Thank you Mike, Lao Dibao Ei, Hu, Book Friends 140420214337580, Book Friends 20181130105305305944, and How, Humor Tribe, Book Friends 1611222113501799, Dust Mood, Protostop, Reader 1297873838407110656, White Horse Xiaolong, Captain Jim, Chen NK, Good Beloved 0123, Book Monthly Ticket of Friend 202012221923283842. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 2097. Xiangnan went back to the office to take a shower and change clothes. It was already time for dinner. She accompanied Zhang Xiangbei to the Mountain Col, his favorite restaurant, to eat spicy fish pot. Xiangnan drank apple juice, and Zhang Xiangbei drank bayberry wine. Xiangnan said, "Drink more. When you get here, you will be fine except for sleeping. Don't worry, drink. If you get drunk, I will ask someone to come and carry you back." Zhang Xiangbei laughed and said, "Yes, I really miss the spicy fish here. By the way, Xiaohu has arrived in Hangzhou. Last night, we went to the Yongcheng local restaurant in Xinyifang to eat spicy fish together. It was strange. The cooking there was the same as here, but the taste was different when we ate it." Zhang Xiangbei said, "Last night, I was still thinking about when I could eat the fish here, but I didn't expect to eat it today. It's the fish that are different. This is the fish in Qiandao Lake, the hotel in Hangzhou. Who knows where the fish comes from?" Xiangnan said, and Zhang Xiangbei laughed. "Why are you laughing?" Xiangnan asked. I know that the fish is indeed not from Qiandao Lake. It comes from Qingshan Lake in Linan, not Qingshan Lake, but from the fish pond on the edge of Qingshan Lake. Qingshan Lake is a water source protection area and does not allow artificial raise fish, Zhang Xiangbei said. "How do you know?" Xiangnan was surprised. "Do you know fish?" "Their fish comes from Zai Xianshui." "How could I not know about the fish from Zai Xianshui?" Zhang Xiangbei said. Xiangnan nodded, understanding, and asked, "Then why can't you sell fish from Qiandao Lake? There are also some, expensive, and ordinary small restaurants won't enter. The fish in Qiandao Lake are monopolized by Qiandao Lake Development Group Co., Limited. Even though Yongcheng owns a quarter of Qiandao Lake, you can't catch them. They are in charge of the entire water surface of the fish, and they also release the fry. The water surface of Qiandao Lake is large enough, and generally does not require artificial breeding. They are all organic fish grown in a natural state. They are only responsible for stocking fry and fishing. The quantity of each catch is also planned. In recent years, Qiandao Lake's organic fish, once the fish becomes famous, the demand is huge and the market is basically unsaturated, so it is expensive, Zhang Xiangbei said. What about here? Xiang Nan asked. The fish here are stolen. Stolen? Xiang Nan was surprised. Yes, poaching, Zhang Xiangbei said. Qandao Lake is so big, and the fishery administration can't control it. There are always people who will steal fish. When the fishery administration comes, they will run away. On the water, it is no better than on land. They saw the fishery administration's boat coming from afar. Every day, many people would steal fish and then sell them to these restaurants, where they would keep them in the pond behind them. If we purchase it from Qandao Lake Development Group Co., Limited, then even if the price of this pot of fish doubles, it won't be enough. How many people will come to eat it? No wonder, Xiang Nan said. Zhang Xiangbei, how come you know all these things? Of course I have to find out. Our website is labeled as selling Qandao Lake organic fish. If the origin is not clear, Qandao Lake Development Group Co., Limited will find us and tell us exactly. All products marked with their place of origin need to have to prove the origin. We also need to find out the purchasing channels, otherwise consumers can sue us for fraud, Zhang Xiangbei said. I understand, Xiang Nan nodded. By the way, why did Xiaohu come to Hangzhou? Does he still have time to run to Hangzhou now? For our fresh home delivery and daily fresh food matters, Zhang Xiangbei said. Yongcheng has neither Xianshui nor daily fresh. There are only a few vegetable growers who supply vegetables to Xianshui, but the scale is very small. Yongcheng's strawberries are very famous. It is the hometown of strawberries. Large areas of land are used to grow strawberries. There are not many farmers who specialize in growing vegetables. In Yongcheng Farmers Market, most of the vegetables are grown in the private plots in front and behind the houses of nearby villagers, and then they go to the farmers' market to sell them themselves, or sell them to people who set up stalls in the market. Only those vegetables that are not grown locally. It will be circulated from the vegetable wholesale market in Hangzhou. Xiangnan is not sensitive to home fresh delivery and daily fresh delivery, just because Zhang Xiangbei is responsible for home fresh delivery, and she sometimes goes to their website to check it out. Therefore, she had almost no idea about the competition between Xixian delivery and daily fresh. When she saw the daily fresh advertisement on the internet, she felt that what they did was the same as Zhang Xiangbei and others. Will there be any competition? But Xiangnan had no real idea of how fierce the competition might be. Now I heard from Zhang Xiangbei that even Xiaohu had come from Taipei, which meant that this matter was no small matter. Has that daily fresh had a big impact on you? Xiang Nan asked. It's very big, Zhang Xiangbei said. Zhang Xiangbei then told Xiangnan about the influence of daily fresh on them in the past few days, and also told her the content of their afternoon meeting. Xiangnan was also shocked when he heard this. 25 billion? Just for a price war, Xiang Nan said. Doesn't that mean all the money has been wasted? Yes, in order to strive for a result that is beneficial to myself, the money was indeed wasted in the process, Zhang Xiangbei said. I don't understand, Xiang Nan said. Otherwise, if you gave Daily Fresh 10 billion and asked them to close their doors, wouldn't they be willing to do so? In this way, you would have saved 15 billion. Zhang Xiangbei laughed out loud and said. I'm saying now, 50 billion, I'll sell Xianshui to you. Shibo.com will agree immediately without saying a word, but I won't sell it. Why do both parties have to spend so much money? No one wants to sell it if you are unwilling to retreat. What you are fighting for is the result, that is, the future. Whoever wins the fight will eventually occupy this market. This market is huge, with more than dozens to 50 billion every year. Xiang Nan seemed to understand, and she said, if that's the case, wouldn't it be too deceptive to defraud you of your money? I'll build a vegetable selling website and do it the same as you, and then I can sell it to you. I don't want it, even if it's given to me, Zhang Xiangbei said. Why? Xiang Nan asked. You will die and you won't live long, Zhang Xiangbei said. Xiang Nan still didn't understand. She asked, I've also looked at the Daily Fresh website. They're nothing special. They're very similar to yours. Why would they sell it to you for 10 billion, want? If it's Daily Fresh, yes, I will ask for 10 billion, just like if I sell it for 50 billion, they will definitely ask for the same, Zhang Xiangbei said, because what you buy is not a website, but competition. If I buy the life of my opponent, like Daily Fresh, I won't use that website anymore and just let it die, but I have no opponent. Seeing that Xiang Nan still didn't understand, Zhang Xiangbei continued. What you see is a website. You don't know that behind the website is a very huge entity, with tens of thousands of square meters of factory buildings, thousands of employees, hundreds of vehicles, not to mention other things. As you said before, anyone can do it. The reason why no one wants a similar website is that it doesn't have these things behind it, so it's not valuable. Why don't they live long? Xiang Nan asked. Zhang Xiangbei said, it's very simple. If you let these websites, their prices are the same as mine, he will lose money every day. The more he sells, the more he will lose. They are not pocketing money, how can they afford to lose? If it's more expensive than me, and no one will buy his food, will he die anyway? If nothing else, Daily Fresh is losing 60 to 70 million a day. How many people can afford to lose? If you can't afford the loss, you don't even have the qualifications to compete. It's like a kindergarten kid challenging a professional boxer. Does he need to take you seriously and seriously fight you? He just stomps his feet and you fall. Yes, it is the same whether there are such websites and companies, and they do not pose a threat to me. The reason why we can compete with Daily Fresh is because we are both big enough. It will not be easy for anyone to defeat the other. This is why we must take it seriously and devote all our strength to deal with it. Xiang Nan understood and asked, what if you can't fight and lose? I mean, what will happen? Half and half, everyone has the possibility of winning, and there is also the possibility of losing. Zhang Xiangbei smiled, the loser will be kicked out of the city and the industry. The competition is very cruel. When you are defeated, you will be kicked out, the opponent will not stop, he will just continue to beat you until he beats you to pieces. At that time Zhang Xiangbei smiled, I can only go to Wuzishan to raise cattle. No, Xiang Nan said, go home and stay well at home. I will take care of you. Zhang Xiangbei said, okay, I will stay at home, cook for you every day, and take you to and from get off work. Xiang Nan smiled, that's not bad. Although the two were chatting and laughing, even Xiangnan now knew how stressed Zhang Xiangbei was. Xiangnan held Zhang Xiangbei's hand and said to him, Zhang Xiangbei, don't be afraid, you know. Zhang Xiangbei nodded and said, I know, I'm not afraid. I can't beat them, so I asked my sister to beat them. Okay, you have me. When I was a kid, I used to protect you, which ruined my own image and made me look like a dominatrix, Xiang Nan said, and both of them laughed. After eating, we drove south. When we reached the intersection where we were going home, Zhang Xiangbei said, I do not want to go home. Xiang Nan understood that Zhang Xiangbei didn't want to see his grandparents. When he saw his grandparents, they would definitely ask him why he came today and didn't go to work. What's going on in the company now? Zhang Xiangbei is probably not only willing to talk about the company's affairs with her, but also with other people. The most annoying thing is bringing up the company's affairs. Xiang Nan agreed, then let's stay at the Yongcheng Central Hotel for the night, okay. Zhang Xiangbei nodded. The two of them went to Yongcheng Central Hotel, and Xiangnan went to the front desk to ask for a suite. The two of them went upstairs and entered the room. The two of them sat down on the sofa in the living room outside. Xiangnan and Zhang Xiangbei said, you just live here with peace of mind, you can stay as long as you want, have a good rest and don't think too much. I can only stay for 3 nights. I must go back the day after tomorrow, Zhang Xiangbei said. Why? Xiang Nan asked. There is no time. After 2 days, I will go up and fight them even if I am shirtless. The game has already begun, and there must be a result, Zhang Xiangbei said. Xiang Nan nodded, understanding. Don't talk. Xiangnan told Zhang Xiangbei, then picked up his mobile phone and called home. When his grandmother answered the phone, Xiangnan told her that he had something to do these days and would not go home at night. Thank you for your monthly votes for my Kang, and, how, no future, only remember the original intention, Yuengzi, Zhonzhong, Jinwiraiwichi, Daodu, and Chiyo 1101152336518898. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 2098. Zhang Xiangbei got up early in the morning, and Xiangnan asked him to sleep a little longer. Zhang Xiangbei said, I can sleep all day, and I want to accompany you to hang your throat. Xiang Nan said yes, but no mischief is allowed. The two of them passed through the cultural square at the entrance of Yongcheng Center, walked down the steps, and reached the riverside. They did not turn left and went to the place where Xiang Nan used to hang his throat every morning, for fear of meeting his grandparents there. When Xiang Nan was at home, they would be helping Xiang Nan prepare breakfast at this time. Since Xiang Nan was not here, they probably had breakfast early and wandered to the riverside. The two of them walked to the right, towards the upper reaches of the Xianan River, until they reached the end of the riverside park, where the old forest station was. Beyond that, there was the Latong Hotel. There was no road. In this section of the riverside park, there are willow trees along the river. The river fog lingers between the branches and lingers for a long time. Each willow tree looks like a ball of soft fur, and the river fog under the willow tree is misty. Wandering with the breeze, for a while it was so thick that it was difficult to distinguish the road under your feet, and for a while it suddenly became clear, and you could see wet figures floating in the fog. Xiang Nan stopped here, and Zhang Xiangbei sat on the stone bench and looked at her. There was a small dock not far from them, and the stone steps stretched all the way into the river. This wharf is not for boats to berth. There are no boats on the riverside in Yongcheng. Instead, people work on washing clothes, washing vegetables, and washing rice. People living on the riverside have been accustomed to coming to the riverside to do these jobs for decades. The washing machine and the drum are also filled with sundries and have not been used for a long time. One reason for going to the river is to save electricity and water. Another reason is that the river is warm in winter and cool in summer. If there is no dock, people living by the river will really not be used to it. Zhang Xiangbei and Xiangnan couldn't see the people on the dock, but they could hear the bang-bang sound of sticks hitting clothes from the fog. The sound of bang-bang ended, followed by the sound of squeak, which was the sound of clothes being washed using the stone slabs on the dock as a washboard, and then the sound of swish, swish of the brush washing the clothes. Finally, there is the sound of clatter, 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 the sound of clothes being splashed in the river. In the midst of the series of sounds, Xiang Nan began to sing Bia Ya Ya. Together with Xiang Nan's voice, the sounds on the pier stopped instantly. The person wearing clothes also pricked up his ears, straightened up, and raised his hand with his hands. He hit his lower back and looked at Zhang Wu, who was confused in front of him. He stood and rested for a while, and listened for a while. After a while, the sound of bang bang sounded again, but here, the sound of beep babbling from Xiangnan never stopped. Zhang Xiangbei was sitting there, facing Zhang. He picked up his mobile phone and looked at it. There was no missed call or WeChat message. No one in the company, probably because of Wu Huan's order, was not allowed to contact Zhang Xiangbei. For 2 days, none of them could disturb Zhang Xiangbei and let him think. Once he thought about it clearly, he would know what to do. but Zhang Xiangbei felt that his brain was still a mess. Zhang Xiangbei stared at the screen of his mobile phone in a daze for a while. He thought about whether he should call Wu Yu to ask about today's situation. After thinking about it, he decided to forget it. Today's situation will not be bad, it will only get worse. The call was answered. I know, there is nothing I can do. Zhang Xiangbei shook his head and was surprised to find that Xiang Nan's voice disappeared. He was about to turn his head to look when someone tapped his shoulder. Xiang Nan stood behind him without knowing when. Get up, Xiang Nan said. Zhang Xiangbei stood up. Come here. Xiang Nan reached out and took his hand, leading him to where she was standing. You stand here, Xiang Nan said. Zhang Xiangbei smiled and said, what are you doing? I don't know how to talk. I'll teach you how to breathe so that your brain can clear up, Xiang Nan said. Xiang Nan then put her 2 fingers on the right side of Zhang Xiangbei's Adam's apple, teaching him the breathing method Nmu taught her. Xiang Nan's 2 fingers followed Zhang Xiangbei's exhalation and inhalation. Slide open and close gently. Zhang Xiangbei learned it, and felt that his whole body, with the slow breathing, seemed to be really slowly relaxing. He didn't know whether it was mist or water vapor, but the coolness penetrated his body like a gossamer. He was like a shriveled balloon, swollen by this cool air. The soles of his feet seemed a little floating, and he was about to float. Indescribably comfortable. Xiangnan asked Zhang Xiangbei to stand here and continue to talk, while she walked away to the other side of the tree and continued to babbling. There are trees in the middle, with Zhang Xiangbei on the left and Xiangnan on the right. Xiangnan's bitter sound seems to be meandering through the fog, wandering far away, and then swimming back in circles. Zhang Xiangbei is closed eyes, breathing slowly, ears filled with the sound of Xiangnan. He stood there, feeling like he was about to fall asleep. As he breathed in and out, he felt that his brain was empty, like an empty house that had just been painted clean. It was empty and contained nothing. His brain was very clear, but he felt that his body had fallen asleep, and even his own body was asleep. He could hear the snoring, and he felt like he had changed from 1 to 2 to countless. There is the self that snores, the self that fills the ears with Xiang Nan's voice, the self that takes deep breaths, the self that listens to the sound of clothes being pounded, and there is, Zhang Xiangbei feels like he can't tell the difference. Zhang Xiangbei had a hallucination. He heard another beep, babble sound, and then heard Xiang Nan scolding dead thing and giggling. Zhang Xiangbei opened his eyes. I realized that it was not a hallucination, but that there really was another beep babbling sound. Yin Tao came out of the fog with 2 young students. Yin Tao said towards the south. I knew it was you just by the sound of the voice. Xiang Nan asked, why are you here? Yin Tao smiled and said, it's you who came to our territory. I should be the one to ask you this. We are here every morning. Really, from the back, this small road goes straight through, crosses Xianan Road, and then crosses Homa Road, and you arrive at Jiaofang of Yongchen Wu Opera Troupe. The straight line distance is only 200 or 300 meters. There are now more actors and younger students in the troupe, and there is an atmosphere of competition. More and more people get up every morning to practice their voices. The voices and voices are chasing each other in the troupe. It is so crowded that Yin Tao simply takes the several young students come to the riverside every day. The 4 people lined up on the other side of the tree. At first, they were doing their own thing, babbling, and then they became less honest. They stopped babbling, and started singing opera lyrics. The 4 of them didn't need to do anything. Assigned, I quickly found my own roles, and these roles were not in the same play. Xiang Nan sang the 3rd sister in The 3rd Sister Comes Down to Earth. Yin Tao sang 11 She in 11 She Tears. 2 young students sang the introductory opera of Wu Opera, Fan Liwa, and 3 Invitations to Pear Blossoms by Suhen in Stealing Immortal Grass. The 4 people each sang their own songs, but they were not convinced by each other. I started as soon as you finished singing. The singing was so lively, it was a bit like singing. The washer had finished washing the clothes and came over with a bucket of washed clothes. He put the bucket on the ground and stood there listening. Only then did Zhang Xiangbei see clearly that it was a man in his 50s. Women. When one person finished singing and the other just got up, the woman turned to look at Zhang Xiangbei and muttered, "Good singing, good singing. Do you think they sang well?" Zhang Xiangbei smiled and nodded. The four of them had been fighting each other for 40 or 50 minutes. Yin Tao suddenly stopped, looked at her toward the south, and said proudly, "Are you coming yet?" "I'm not coming, my stomach is growling," Yin Tao shouted. "Zhang Xiangbei, please treat us to some steamed buns." Zhang Xiangbei said yes. Yin Tao and two young students said, "At the end of Rainbow Bridge, hurry up and grab a seat." When the two young students heard this, they immediately ran into the fog. The three people walked towards the Rainbow Bridge. When they arrived, two young practitioners had already grabbed a table. The two of them sat on one stool, with one foot on another stool, and the people were standing drinking soy milk and eating steamed buns. Someone wanted them to take their feet away, so they both yelled, "There's someone! They'll be here soon." The voice was clear and sharp, and others were embarrassed to argue with the two little girls. Seeing Xiang Nan and the others arriving, the little practitioner immediately took his feet away, and Xiang Nan and Yin Tao sat down. There was still a stool left, and Yin Tao cursed. Go, let's go sit together for two people. You are so ignorant. The boss's boyfriend is here, and he doesn't know how to flatter or give in." The two young students laughed and squeezed for a stool. When one of them stood up, he bowed deeply to Zhang Xiangbei as a gesture of invitation, and then smiled flatteringly towards Zhang Xiangbei. "Boss, is this okay? Is it polite enough?" Xiang Nan stretched out his hand and slapped her on the head. The little practitioner shrank his neck and shouted exaggeratedly, "It hurts like hell. I can't even make up for 5 buns." The business of this steamed stuffed bun shop was very good, and customers were queuing up to buy steamed stuffed buns. Yin Tao asked the student, "Do you have any?" One shouted, "Are we that stupid? We should have ordered it a long time ago." Another shouted, "I know you will definitely want to eat tofu buns, so I ordered a basket for you." Just as he was talking, the waiter came up with a drawer of steamed buns. Xiang Nan said to the waiter, "4 more bowls of salty soy milk." The little practitioner pushed the dumplings in front of them and said politely, "Come on, you guys eat first." "What did Xiang Nan say, and you just watched?" Just as he was talking, the waiter came up with another drawer of steamed buns, and the young student said, "This is ours, the meaty one." Yin Tao scolded, "How can I be so honest? You too, if you want to eat this cage, are you reincarnated as a starving ghost? The steamed buns here are all big buns, not small steamed buns. There are more than 20 steamed buns in one basket. Most people eat 3 or 4, and a bowl of soy milk is enough. Ordering 2 steamed buns for 5 people is indeed a bit too much." The two young students were swaying with laughter. One of them gave Yin Tao a blank look and shouted, "I want you to take care of it. It's not your treat anyway." Another said, "We are growing, so of course we have to eat so much." Xiang Nan cursed, "I think you are being careless." The two young students laughed wildly. One of them opened his eyes and asked Zhang Xiangbei, "You can't be so stingy. You can't bear to eat a few more buns if we eat them." Zhang Xiangbei smiled and said, "It's okay. It doesn't matter if you each take another cage back after eating." Upon hearing this, a young student immediately turned around and shouted, "Boss, give us 2 more cages of meat buns to pack." "You really brought this damn thing," Yin Tao cursed. "It's a blessing to share it, take it home and grab it all," a young student shouted. "There is a nest of rats in the dormitory," another added. "Thank you for the reward of baby tin soldier," 2 fishes 1 up and 2 fishes down, who read books every day at 3 o'clock in the middle of the night, and ranked third from top to bottom. Thank you Zhao 1017, Purple Hay, Yuengzi, Sinful Orchid Finger, and Daos Hung 123 for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Niang. Chapter 2099. After eating the buns, the 5 of them walked directly to the center of Yongcheng. Yin Tao took 2 little students and went upstairs to the Yongcheng Wu opera troupe. The 2 little students held the buns in their hands and went to the classroom of the student class. Yin Tao went to the small take a look at the theater, which is also their rehearsal hall. For the morning rehearsal, Corner B is in charge. Neither Xiang Nan nor Yin Tao need to go on stage. Later, Yin Tao will go to the classroom to teach the young students. Xiongnan and Zhang Xiangbei returned to the room. Xiongnan changed clothes and prepared to go to work. She told Zhang Xiangbei that I had been in the office in the morning. Come to my office if you have nothing to do. Zhang Xiangbei said. Oh. Are we going to the hotel restaurant for lunch? Xiangnan asked. Zhang Xiangbei said he couldn't go. Xiangnan looked at him and understood that he was afraid of meeting acquaintances, especially Su Jianmei. When Su Jianmei saw Zhang Xiangbei, she would definitely sit down and ask questions. How is Zhang Chen? How is Xiao Fang? Lu Li? How about Zhang and Tan Shahen? How about Grandpa and Grandma? And how about yourself? She would not leave their table without asking for half an hour. Then go to the cafeteria below to eat? Xiangnan said. Zhang Xiangbei still remained silent. Xiangnan said okay, we will talk at noon. When he came to the door, Xiongnan came back and said to Zhang Xiangbei, you got up so early, please take a nap. Zhang Xiangbei smiled and said, what about you, isn't it the same? Xiangnan said, I'm used to it. Also, I can take a nap, can you? Zhang Xiangbei has not had the habit of taking naps since he was a child. When Grandma asked them to take a nap, Xiongnan always fell asleep obediently. Zhang Xiangbei lay there with his eyes closed and snored deliberately, pretending to be asleep, etc. After Grandma and Xiangnan fell asleep, he would get up secretly and go outside to play games with the game console, or turn on the DVD player and turn the volume to the minimum to watch Conan. One time, my grandma did not take a nap and was cooking chili peppers in the living room outside. Zhang Xiangbei had no way to sneak out and could only take a nap with Xiangnan on the bed. Xiangnan fell asleep. Zhang Xiangbei was really bored by himself. He simply took out his pen and drew 2 beards on Xiangnan, a pair of glasses, and 3 wrinkles on his forehead. When I was about to draw a dragon, I finally woke up Xiangnan. Xiangnan looked at himself in the mirror and burst into tears. He pinched Zhang Xiangbei's ears so hard that both ears were swollen. Zhang Xiangbei wanted to run away, but Xiangnan said, I'll count them on the 2nd or 3rd day. Zhang Xiangbei's eyes were red and he could only go over obediently and let her continue to pinch her. However, he had a better memory and would not dare to do it next time. Okay, Zhang Xiangbei collapsed on the sofa and said, I'm going to take a nap now. As soon as Xiangnan went out, Zhang Xiangbei immediately got up, moved a chair to the balcony, sat down, and stared outside blankly. Xiongnan stayed in the office all morning and didn't see Zhang Xiangbei come down. At 11:30, he still didn't see anyone. Xiongnan picked up the phone on the table and wanted to call the room, but put it down after thinking about it. She stood up, took out an Oxford bag from the cabinet, which contained 3 lunch boxes. She went to the bathroom to rinse the lunch boxes with water, wiped them clean with a napkin, put them back into the Oxford bag, and walked out of the office with them in her hand. Xiongnan took the elevator to the staff cafeteria on the 1st basement floor. He packed 2 lunch boxes of vegetables and 1 lunch box of rice and went upstairs. When he walked to the door, he thought that Zhang Xiangbei was probably still sleeping, so he didn't ring the doorbell, but picked up something from his pocket. He took out the room card, opened the door and entered the room. There was no one in the living room outside. Xiang Nan put the Oxford bag on the coffee table and walked into the inner room to take a look. The room had been tidied up by the waiter and there was no one. When he walked outside, he saw the glass door from the living room leading to the balcony outside. After closing the door, she walked over to Xiongnan and took a look outside. She was startled when she saw Zhang Xiangbei sitting outside. The sun had already hit half of the balcony, and Zhang Xiangbei's feet were exposed to the sun. He opened the door to the south and shouted, "Why are you sitting outside? Isn't it hot?" Zhang Xiangbei turned to smile at her and said it wasn't hot. Xiang Nan was actually sweating when he saw his face. "Come in quickly and eat," Xiang Nan said, and Zhang Xiangbei agreed. Zhang Xiangbei walked in and sat down on the sofa. Xiongnan took out a wet towel from the bathroom, wiped his face, and shouted, "Hand over here." Zhang Xiangbei obediently stretched out his hands, and Xiongnan wiped his left hand first, then his right hand. He put down the towel and came back. He saw that Zhang Xiangbei had opened the food, lowered his head, and sniffed the food with his nose twitching. "Are you greedy?" Xiang Nan asked. "I'm so greedy," Zhang Xiangbei said, "this big pot of food is delicious." Xiongnan smiled, sat down next to Zhang Xiangbei, picked up the chopsticks and the lunch box, put a little rice in the lid of the lunch box, pushed the lunch box in front of Zhang Xiangbei, and said to him, "This is for you, it's delicious." The two of them finished the meal. Zhang Xiangbei poured the last bit of vegetable soup into the lunch box, mixed it with bibimbap and ate it together. Xiongnan asked Zhang Xiangbei, "Are you full?" Zhang Xiangbei said he was full. Xiongnan got up and went to the bathroom to wash the lunch box, spoons and chopsticks, and hung them to dry on the sink. He came back and said to Zhang Xiangbei, "Come on, take a nap with me." Zhang Xiangbei said "Oh," stood up, and followed Xiongnan to the inner room. The two of them lay down on the bed. Zhang Xiangbei reached out to hug Xiongnan, but Xiongnan scolded him softly, "Be honest and lie down." Zhang Xiangbei said "Oh" again, lay on his side and looked at Xiongnan, and said to Xiongnan, "Close your eyes." Zhang Xiangbei closed his eyes. When he woke up, Xiongnan saw Zhang Xiangbei still lying there, looking at her with wide eyes, just like she did before falling asleep. Xiongnan was in a trance, thinking that only 10 minutes had passed. Look! Watch, he had been asleep for more than an hour. He turned to the south, faced Zhang Xiangbei's face, and asked to the south, "Have you slept?" Zhang Xiangbei nodded. "How did you sleep?" Xiang Nan asked. "That's how I slept." "Sleeping with your eyes open?" "Yes, I fell asleep watching you sleep," Zhang Xiangbei said. Shameless Xiang Nan cursed, stretched out his hand, and the two of them hugged each other. Xiongnan wanted to go downstairs to rehearse and ask Zhang Xiangbei if he was going. Zhang Xiangbei said no. Xiongnan asked again what he wanted to eat at night. Zhang Xiangbei said it would be the same as at noon. "Should I bring it up?" Xiang Nan asked. Zhang Xiangbei nodded. "Are you in the room and not ready to go out?" Zhang Xiangbei still nodded. Xiang Nan reached out and touched his face, and said to him, "Then if you want to sit, sit on the sofa, not on the balcony. It's hot, do you understand?" Zhang Xiangbei said he understood. Xiang Nan walked toward the door, Zhang Xiangbei followed her, and walked into the bathroom. The lunch boxes on the sink were already dry. Xiang Nan closed the lids one by one and put the lunch boxes into the Oxford bag. Zhang Xiangbei was leaning on the bathroom door, watching Xiang Nan doing things, and Xiang Nan walked over with his bag. Zhang Xiangbei was still blocking the door, and Xiang Nan said to give way. Zhang Xiangbei did not give way, but stretched out his arms to hug him. She and Xiang Nan also hugged him, and the two kissed for a while at the bathroom door, and then Zhang Xiangbei let go of Xiang Nan. Zhang Xiangbei walked to the door of the room, opened the door for Xiang Nan, and confessed to Xiang Nan, "I'm telling you." "I know, sit on the sofa," Zhang Xiangbei said. Xiang Nan rolled his eyes at him and walked out. During the rehearsal this afternoon, Xiang Nan was a little absent-minded. The corner of his eye glanced at the back of the stage below from time to time. He always felt that Zhang Xiangbei would suddenly appear there, but he never did. After 2.5 hours of rehearsal, Xiangnan did not go to the office, but went directly upstairs. Still a little panicked, he opened the door and went in. He saw Zhang Xiangbei not sitting on the sofa, but squatting on the sofa with bare feet. He folded his hands on his chest and stared straight ahead. The TV screen in front of him was completely black. "What are you doing?" Xiang Nan asked. "I'm practicing squatting," Zhang Xiangbei said. "I used to be on the sofa. I couldn't squat and would fall over. Haha, I squatted here and used the breathing method you taught me this morning. Did you see that it was very stable?" Xiang Nan was surprised and asked, "Why are you practicing this?" Zhang Xiangbei smiled and said, "Go back and compete with Gu Gong." "Boring," Xiang Nan cursed. Xiang Nan sat down next to Zhang Xiangbei and pushed him. Zhang Xiangbei did not fall that way, but fell towards Xiang Nan. He pressed his head hard against her head, and Xiang Nan also fell down. Xiang Nan looked at his watch. It was almost 6 o'clock. Xiang Nan asked, "Would you like to eat spicy duck feet?" Zhang Xiangbei said no. "What do you want to eat?" "You order it and I'll ask the restaurant below to bring it to you." Zhang Xiangbei still said no, "Just eat from the cafeteria." "You still want me to fight?" Xiang Nan asked. Zhang Xiangbei nodded, stood up to Xiangnan, sighed, and said, "Okay, who asked me to raise a big baby?" Zhang Xiangbei laughed wildly. After dinner, the two of them took a bath together and played in the bathroom for a while. They came out wearing nightgowns. It was already dark outside. Zhang Xiangbei opened the door to the balcony and moved another chair out. The two people sat there side by side, looking at the cultural square below. The square was now bustling with people, and the fountains and music were turned on. This time was also the peak of electricity consumption. The Xianan River hydropower station upstream was operating at full capacity to generate electricity. It was also the time when the fog on the Xianan River was the thickest. When they saw the end of the cultural square and the section of river exposed between the two houses, they were all locked in the white mist. Waves of mist were climbing up from the wide steps and pouring into the crowd in the square. Early the next morning, Zhang Xiangbei and Xiangnan got up together, and the two of them walked to the place where they stood yesterday. Not long after they arrived, they heard the sound of chirping coming from the fog, and then Yin Tao led not 2, but 6 young practitioners appeared, followed by Yin Tao, 4 girls and 2 boys. When they saw Xiang Nan and Zhang Xiangbei, they laughed wildly. A young practitioner yesterday said to others, "Have you seen it? I said they will be there." Xiang Nan looked at them and asked, "Are you all planning to make meat buns?" "There is also soy milk," another young student from yesterday said, and everyone burst into laughter. At noon, Xiangnan still grabbed a meal from the cafeteria and took it to his room. He opened the door and went in. He saw Zhang Xiangbei squatting on the sofa just like yesterday, but with a mobile phone in his hand and looking at something. Xiangnan asked, "What are you looking at?" "It's strange that these guys forgot about me and fired me. I didn't even have a phone call or WeChat message," Zhang Xiangbei said. "Idiot, you can't call me back," Xiang Nan said. "No beating," Zhang Xiangbei said, paused for a while, and then said with a gloomy look, "I don't know what to say if I beat him." Xiang Nan sighed secretly and said, "Let's eat." Thank you to Unlucky Sun, Luo Dashu, Mr. SGN, Fengkonghu 1974, Book Friends 201811301053059444, Book Friends 201703031958399050. Book Friends 201701042257444094 for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Niang. Chapter 2100. After 2.5 hours of rehearsal in the afternoon, I walked out of the small theater to the south and looked out the window at the end of the hall. It was a cloudy day with no sun, but the weather was a bit sultry. Xiangnan still did not go to the office, but went upstairs to Zhang Xiangbei's room, opened the door and went in. This time Zhang Xiangbei did not squat on the sofa, but lay there with his head facing the door. Xiangnan thought he was asleep, but unexpectedly, Zhang Xiangbei sat up immediately when he heard the noise. Xiangnan said, "There is no sun today, let's go out for a walk." Zhang Xiangbei said angrily, "I won't go." Xiangnan walked up to him, touched his leg with her knee, and said to him, Come with me to see my dad." Zhang Xiangbei raised his head and looked at her and asked, "Going back to Hangzhou?" "What, I mean my dad," Xiangnan said. Zhang Xiangbei understood that he was going to visit Feng Lugui's grave. Zhang Xiangbei stretched out his hand, held it to the south, and pulled back suddenly. Zhang Xiangbei was pulled up. Although Xiangnan has accepted Lu Ligan, she can't say the word dad, and there is always some resistance in her heart. In her heart, Feng Lugui is the one who can call him dad smoothly. If he wanted to talk to Lu Ligan about something, Xiangnan would always face him and speak directly without prefixes. He would not call him hello or dad, and it seemed that it was not easy to call him uncle or uncle. Old Lu, let alone Pole. Lu Ligan seemed to understand the connection. He didn't care. "Regardless of whether you call me your dad or not, you can't change this." Lu Ligan said to Xiangnan solemnly, Nan, you can call me old man." Xiangnan blushed, feeling as if she had something on her mind that was exposed by Lu Lizan. However, she felt that the title old man was very good. The distance and intimacy between the name and the name were neither too far nor too close. Just like their relationship, from then on, he really called Lu Ligan old man. When Xiangnan called, Tan Shuhan followed suit. From then on, Lu Ligan existed as old man at home. Gangza became his name outside and disappeared from home. In fact, the same goes for Zhang Xiangbei. He accepted Xiaofang as his new mother. During those years in the United States, Zhang Xiangbei and Xiaofang lived together and had an attachment to Xiaofang, and Xiaofang was very attached to him. He is even better than his mother. If Zhang Xiangbei does something wrong, his mother will criticize or scold him mercilessly. Xiaofang will not, she will only talk to him patiently. There is an element of caution in Xiaofang's kindness to Zhang Xiangbei, and she feels it is a kind of responsibility. But it is this kind of caution that Xiaofang may not even realize, which makes the intimacy between her and Zhang Xiangbei. The relationship has become a little unnatural, not casual, not easy. When a mother and her son are together, whether it is the son or the mother, when they are emotional, they don't need to go through the brain to lose their temper, whether they want to lose their temper or not. After they are done, they can just look at each other and smile, or say a word, and they can put an end to the past. Xiaofang and Zhang, there is no such randomness between Xiangbei, whether it is Xiaofang or Zhang Xiangbei. Zhang Xiangbei feels that Xiaofang is too careful and pays too much attention to him. This kind of attention often turns into a kind of pressure, making Zhang Xiangbei feel that he owes Xiaofang. He must be good, work hard, and cannot play tricks. Temperament. It wasn't until Zhang Xiangzi was born that Zhang Xiangbei felt that the attention was distracted, and he felt relieved. Zhang Xiangbei also thinks that after his mother is gone, it is the best arrangement for Xiaofang to become his new mother. However, Zhang Xiangbei is still used to calling Xiaofang auntie instead of mother. Mother is a specific word that corresponds to only one person. This person is gone, but the word mother has not changed. It is still in my heart and has become subconscious. For example, when Zhang Xiangbei is thinking about something, when he thinks of his mother, he must be referring to Xiaozhao, not Xiaofang. When he thinks of what his mother said, he must be referring to Xiaozhao, not Xiaofang. There seems to be no way to interchange these. Fortunately, Xiaofang is really his aunt, and she has been used to it since she was a child. Xiaofang also has deep feelings for Xiaozhao and has no intention of replacing Xiaozhao. This makes their relationship much more natural. Zhang Xiangbei called Aunt Xiaofang. This aunt is still different from the ordinary aunt. She is very close to mom. Today is not a holiday. There are no people in the cemetery. The road into the mountain is empty. There are no roadblocks at the entrance of the mountain. If you drive south, you can drive all the way to the entrance of the mountain passage leading to Feng Logui's tomb area. They stood in front of Feng Logui's tomb, put the flowers in their hands in front of the tombstone to the south, took out a pack of Chinese cigarettes from the bag, opened them, took out one and lit it, and put the opened cigarettes and this one together. The cigarettes were put together next to the flowers, and Xiang Nan murmured, "Dad, smoke, Zhang Xiangbei and I are here to see you. Come, Zhang Xiangbei, come with me to say goodbye to Dad." Xiangnan pulled Zhang Xiangbei's hand. The two people stood side by side, with their heads lowered, clasped their hands and bowed to Feng Logui, closed their eyes to the south, and said silently in their hearts, "Dad, you have to help Zhang Xiangbei." Xiang Nan recited it silently over and over again in her heart, until she felt that her father had heard it, and she saw her father smiling at her. Then Xiang Nan opened her eyes, and her eyes were already red. Xiangnan doesn't like going to temples, let alone praying to gods and Buddhas. She finds it funny when she sees so many people praying to Bodhisattva for this and that every day. You also think that Bodhisattva is too easy to dismiss. They kneel down and worship. If you stick incense, the Bodhisattva will bless you with promotion and wealth, promotion in school, and even children. This calculation is too precise. Bodhisattva just wants to help you, and you ask so much from him every day. Can he be busy enough? If there really is another world, Xiang Nan feels that only his father will protect him and try every means to help him. Asking Bodhisattva is really not as good as asking his father. Who are you? Does Bodhisattva know you? The funniest thing is those people who get up in the middle of the night to grab the first incense during the New Year or the birthday of a Bodhisattva. So what if they grab the first incense? If the Bodhisattva is so snobbish, is he still a Bodhisattva? At most, you are like the person holding the sign under the stage at the concert. Yes, the Bodhisattva is looking at you, but all he sees is the sign in your hand. Who knows you? Ask the person on the stage if he knows the name of the fan who was holding the sign and bursting into tears. Xiangnan squatted down with her back to the row of tombstones and facing the valley in front of her. She looked up at Zhang Xiangbei and said with a smile, "You can practice your squatting skills now." Zhang Xiangbei laughed, squatted down, and turned his head back to Xiangnan, as if Feng Logui was standing behind them, and said to Xiangnan, "Did you see that this person is very stupid?" Zhang Xiangbei also turned his head and said, "Uncle Feng, don't listen to her nonsense." The two squatted there and talked until the cigarette was almost burned out, then Xiang Nan reached out and put out the cigarette butt. The two people stood up and bowed to Feng Logui again before going down the mountain. The cemetery is in the south of the bridge. When they return to the center of Yongcheng, they have to pass through the Baisha Bridge and the newly built hotel at the head of the bridge. It's already time for dinner, so they ask Xiangnan, "Would you like some spicy duck feed?" Zhang Xiangbei said yes and drove south to the high slope in front of the newly built hotel. After ordering the food, Xiangnan asked Zhang Xiangbei, "Do you want liquor or beer?" "No, Coke." Zhang Xiangbei shook his head and said. He stood up, ran to the refrigerator where the beer and drinks were stored, opened the door, took out 2 cans of Coke and a can of coconut juice, raised them towards the counter and said, "Boss, 2 cans of Coke and 1 can of coconut juice." Zhang Xiangbei walked back and put coconut juice in front of Xiangnan and Coke in front of himself. "What are you doing? You have nothing to do tonight. You can drink," Xiangnan said. Zhang Xiangbei looked at Xiangnan and said, "I want to go back to Hangzhou in the evening, and I need to prepare some materials. There will be a meeting tomorrow, and Xiahua and the others are still waiting." Leaving at night, Xiangnan was surprised and asked, "Zhang Xiangbei is right. Then I'll take you there," Xiangnan said. Zhang Xiangbei quickly said, "No, no. You must. How can you drive when you have something on your mind? It's not safe," Xiangnan said. Zhang Xiangbei still resisted, "But don't you have to go to work tomorrow? Send you there and I'll be back." "No," Zhang Xiangbei shook his head, "that way I won't be at ease when you come back." Xiangnan tilted her head, bit her lip, thought for a while, and said, "In that case, let Ding Yusong go with us. You can rest assured. He can drive it when he comes back." Xiangnan had already made up her mind as she spoke. She picked up her phone and called Ding Yusong. She hung up the phone and said to Zhang Xiangbei, "As agreed, Xian is also eating. After eating, he will go to Yongcheng Center to wait for us." Xiangnan turned his head and called towards the counter, "Boss, help me replace these 2 cans of Coke with beer." Xiangnan and Zhang Xiangbei said, "After drinking, you can take a nap on the road. You don't have to drive anyway." With the matter settled like this, Zhang Xiangbei picked up the phone and called Wu Huan, telling her to inform shareholders of a meeting at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. "Any ideas?" Wu Huan asked. Zhang Xiangbei said, "Yes, I know what we should do." "Great," Wu Huan shouted on the phone, "can you talk to me?" "It's better not to. I'll think about it tonight. You can listen together tomorrow. If what I say is wrong, you should refute it immediately." "I need your first reaction," Zhang Xiangbei said. Wu Huan said, "Yes, I understand." Zhang Xiangbei then called Malin and Wu Yu and told them to have a hard time at night. "I will rush back to Hangzhou from Yongcheng in about 3 hours. You guys go to the company and wait for me. I need some data." Both people said yes on the other end of the phone. Xiangnan kept watching Zhang Xiangbei call. When he finished, Xiangnan asked, "Has everything been arranged?" Zhang Xiangbei nodded and agreed. "When you're done, eat well. You haven't eaten well in the past 2 days." Xiangnan said, picking up a piece of spicy duck feet and putting it on the plate in front of Zhang Xiangbei. Zhang Xiangbei laughed. Xiangnan didn't ask Zhang Xiangbei what solution he had thought of. She knew that this solution was still in Zhang Xiangbei's mind and needed to be polished. Many times, once an idea is spoken, it will be fixed and will never be seen again. It's better to grow, change, and become rigid than to stay in the mind. This is probably why Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan told him not to talk about it earlier. Anyway, Xiangnan believes that Zhang Xiangbei is always right when he thinks about something and does it. Xiangnan felt that all he had to do was believe in this. After the two of them finished eating, they returned to the Yongcheng Central Hotel and saw Ding Yusong already waiting for them, and Yin Tao followed. "Thank you for the reward of 2 fishes. Thank you for your monthly votes from Musicking, XXM001A, Tamagotchi, Winsanliu, Book Friends 2020091116010975, Flat Tire Mars Rover, The Boy Who Time Traveled to the Uncle, Sand Dust Mood, Once Upon a Mountain, Tiger, Zonkai 727, Book Friends 201905222127404445. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Niang. Chapter 2101. Xiang Nan and Ding Yusong and Yin Tao sent Zhang Xiangbei to the company and turned around to return to Yongcheng. Malin and Wu Yu were already waiting for Zhang Xiangbei at the company. The two of them were sitting in the large office area outside when they saw Zhang Xiangbei coming. Wu Huan was also there. She had already gotten off work. She heard Wu Yu say that Zhang Xiangbei was coming to the company and came to wait for him. Seeing Zhang Xiangbei, Wu Huan said before he could say anything, "I just came to take a look and didn't ask any questions." Zhang Xiangbei smiled and said, "It's not that mysterious." The three of them followed Zhang Xiangbei into the corridor and into Zhang Xiangbei's office. Wu Huan went to sit down on the sofa, really pretending to listen to what you talk about. Zhang Xiangbei looked at Wu Huan and smiled. He went to sit behind the desk. Malin and Wu Yu sat down opposite him. Zhang Xiangbei asked Wu Yu about the situation in the past 2 days. Wu Yu said, "It should have bottomed out. It didn't drop again today. We still have 178% of individual customers. It's miserable enough." "Where are the corporate customers?" Zhang Xiangbei asked. "Through the visits to big customers these days, it seems to be working. Big customers are still placing orders. The biggest change is in small customers. The loss of small customers is about 70%, which is better than individual customers." Wu Yu said. Zhang Xiangbei asked Malin and Wu Yu to calculate the daily loss of Daily Fresh in Hangzhou and Shanghai based on the latest data. He then calculated how much his company would lose in Hangzhou and Shanghai even if the current order volume was maintained. If Shanghai does not lay off employees, will it still be profitable? Malin said, "After you explained the losses at Daily Fresh last time, we have made statistics every day based on the approximate changes in their orders and combined with their preferential measures. If we take it as today, they should be losing money 7,500 to 8 million a day. Because the big customers are still here in Hangzhou and Shanghai, we can still maintain a profit level. I need to carefully calculate how much profit we can make." Zhang Xiangbei said yes, and he asked Wu Yu, "How are the customers who participated in the Suishaobang activity?" "Solid as a rock. I have said before that they are our die-hard fans," Wu Yu said. Not only that, Zhang Xiangbei said, "Another reason is that the customers who participated in the Suishui help activity have already paid in advance, and they still have to wait for us to deliver the goods to them. If they leave us, they will help in pairs. The products of farmers cannot reach their homes, and there is no way to confirm settlement. Daily Fresh does not have this business." "It makes sense," Wu Yu nodded. "Give me another data, that is, for customers like this, who participate in the Suishui help activity, in addition to helping farmers in need, how much additional purchases do they make from us every month, deducting the free delivery we help them with? Regarding the delivery fees of paired farmers, our company will still make a profit when calculating the general ledger from their daily consumption. In addition, how many customers have signed up to participate in the Suishui help activity, but have not yet been paired with farmers in need? Give me some data on the attrition of these people." Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Yu Malin said that they both agreed to stand up and go out. Zhang Xiangbei stood up, walked over, sat down on the sofa, and teased Wu Huan. "You really don't want to hear what I think?" Wu Huan said, "If I didn't want to hear it, I wouldn't stay with you." Zhang Xiangbei laughed. After Zhang Xiangbei told Wu Huan his thoughts, Wu Huan said, "This is a risky move." Zhang Xiangbei was right, it is also a spiritual war and a war of attrition. According to the data from Malin, if we still have capital to spend with them, we will spend it. In fact, I only figured out a truth this morning, Daily Fresh. In fact, from the beginning, they didn't push us into a corner, they pushed themselves into a corner. We had no way to retreat, and they had no way to retreat. Wu Huan nodded. When all the data Zhang Xiangbei needed came out, the two of them looked at it and breathed a sigh of relief. Wu Huan said, "That's it, let's do it." Zhang Xiangbei said yes. It was already past 2 o'clock in the morning. Wu Huan and Wu Yumalin went back. Zhang Xiangbei said, "I have to think about it again, and I will deal with it here on the sofa tonight." Zhang Xiangbei didn't fall asleep until it was dark outside. At 8:30, Wu Huan knocked on the door. Zhang Xiangbei walked over and opened the door. Wu Huan came in with Zhang Xiangbei's breakfast. She saw the look in Zhang Xiangbei's eyes. They were all bloodshot. "Tell him. Wash up and eat something. They're almost here." "Where's Xiaohuo?" Zhang Xiangbei asked. "I asked Fatty to pick him up when he comes, and he should have been picked up by now," Wu Huan said. Wu Huan walked to his office. When Zhang Xiangbei saw the breakfast on the coffee table, he felt really hungry and wolfed it down. After eating, he went to the bathroom to wash up. Before 9 o'clock, Zhang Chen, Xiao Fang, Lu Yun, Sun Xiangyang and Xiaohu all arrived one after another. Everyone went to the conference room. Everyone sat down. Xiao Cao was still helping everyone pour water. Lu Yun got straight to the point and asked Zhang Xiangbei, "Bai Bei, have you made up your mind?" "Think about it," Zhang Xiangbei said. "I think we have forgotten all the texts we learned in the junior high school textbooks." Xiao Fang smiled and said, "I remember it very well, Bai Bei. What do you think we forgot?" "Tianji is racing," Zhang Xiangbei said. "Tianji horse racing? We also learned about it when we were in junior high school and have never forgotten it," Xiaohu said. "Isn't it just using one's own strengths to attack the other's weaknesses?" "Yes, I haven't forgotten the text. Sun Bin's today the king's subordinates are compared with the other's superior horses, to take the king's superior horses to the other's middle horses, to take the king's middle horses to be compared with his inferior subordinates." "Everyone may still remember it," Zhang Xiangbei said, "but the essence and thought of using one's own strengths to attack the other's weaknesses have probably been forgotten. At least before this morning, I had forgotten them." "Be specific," Bai Bei," Lu Yun said with a smile. "To be specific, when Daily Fresh started a price war, we panicked and wanted to follow up. If we follow up, should we use our own strengths to attack each other's weaknesses? It's completely based on our own. We want to attack the enemy's strengths, but we still have money to spend to get the treasure. Isn't this playing into their hands?" "Of course, thank you Godmother, Xiaohuo, and Xiaofang and Dad. You have also prepared 24 billion for us. We don't seem to be short of money, but if 20 billion is not their limit, Dad Ma will pay crazy. He will never give up until he achieves his goal. After burning 20 billion, he will burn another 40 or 80 billion. Should we follow suit?" This may be an extreme statement, but it cannot be said that extreme things cannot happen. It really has to be compared with the trillions of dollars in the fresh food market every year. If you think about it clearly, you will burn 100 billion to get the throne. It is also cost effective. It cannot be said that this possibility is absolutely impossible, and don't ignore Dad Ma's ability to deceive. He has a way to convince shareholders. If something like this happens, we are likely to fall into a trap. In the end, we will burn out all the money, and at the same time, everything in our company will be involved. When the two sides start to fight against each other and start to burn money like crazy, who will be responsible? It won't look good either. In the eyes of the public, they all look hideous, and we have also staked our reputation on fresh food at home. This is the end result of using one's own shortcomings to attack the other's strengths." Several people looked at each other and nodded secretly, feeling that what Zhang Xiangbei said made sense and that this possibility would really happen. Lu Yun and Xiao Fang thought about it. At that point, fresh food delivered to home is not impossible. There is still a way, that is, they have to enter the financing channel immediately and conduct rounds of financing to obtain more, and everyone. Japan has resources to compete with, and high-frequency financing will definitely require a lot of things that you don't want to pay easily. Bai, tell me what you think, Lu Yun said. My idea is very simple, that is to return to using one's own strengths to attack the other's weaknesses. Zhang Xiangbei looked at everyone and said firmly. Now that the war has started, we certainly cannot be afraid of war, nor can we avoid war, but the battlefield is not opened by them, nor is the development of the war decided by them, and we cannot let them lead the way. On the contrary, we must change from passive to active and take the initiative of the war into our own hands. This sounds like a very empty statement, but if we use what we have to fight what the other side does not have, then this statement will not be empty. It's like the other party launched a price war, we got out of the way, but at the same time opened up another battlefield, forcing the other party to jump down and fight us, even if he doesn't want to come in. Everyone in the conference room looked at Zhang Xiangbei. Xiao Fang originally wanted to ask Zhang Xiangbei what we had and what the other party didn't have. Xiao Fang thought about it and didn't ask, and let Zhang Xiangbei continue along his train of thought. Go on. Others in the conference room also saw that at this time, Zhang Xiangbei's thoughts were like a wild horse that was running wild, and he couldn't hold it back even if he wanted to. Very good, that's it, so everyone remained silent and waited for Zhang Xiangbei to continue. What do we have that the other side doesn't have? Zhang Xiangbei continued. Next, I want to do a few things. What I want to do is what we have but the other side doesn't have. The other side can only challenge it. There was no possibility of a challenge. The first thing is, I want to sue De Bao and Teacher Ma. Everyone in the conference room was shocked. Lu Yun couldn't help it anymore and asked. Suing De Bao? Bai, what are you suing them for? Is it about commercial bribery? There is no evidence for that, and the person they want to poach is actually still in our company. No, Godmother, what I want to sue them for is not this, but something else. Zhang Xiangbei said, don't forget that our fresh keeping cabinets and production lines are patented. I want to sue them for their patents infringement and plagiarism of our patented products. But Bai, those are all utility model patents. Utility model patents are almost equal to non-existent. If someone makes slight changes, it is not considered infringement. The possibility of winning this kind of lawsuit is very low, Xiao Fang said. I know, but my goal is not to win the lawsuit, Zhang Xiangbei said with a smile. Even Zhang Chen couldn't help it anymore and asked, then what do you want to do? Lead the win, Zhang Xiangbei said. If our Zaixian Shui sues Dobao.com, it will definitely be a big news, not big news. It shouldn't be difficult to make it a big news, right? The fact is, the assembly line and fresh keeping cabinet are indeed our original creations. The fresh keeping cabinet and assembly line of Daily Fresh are imitated by us. This is definitely true. In terms of time, we are in front and they are behind. They cannot deny this. As long as we sue, the court will definitely accept it. When the time comes, we only need to present the patent certificate in court. On the other hand, if De Bao wants to say that he did not plagiarize, he needs to provide evidence. No matter how he provides evidence or defends himself, once the matter is revealed, even if we don't win the lawsuit, the public's eyes are still sharp. Who plagiarized whom? It is very clear that even if De Bao won the lawsuit, he would not be able to defend himself. It would be difficult to wash away the suspicion of plagiarism. It can be said that although we did not win the lawsuit, but we have already stood on the moral high ground, and the image of Dobao as an evil man cannot be shaken off, Lu Yun said. Zhang Xiangbei nodded, we are suing Dobao itself. According to the simple concept of ordinary people, they always think that the party suing is justified and the party being sued is shameful. In fact, it is the same. Why does the American jury system exclude professional elites and select ordinary people as jurors? There will be no law professors and professional lawyers appearing on the jury box. It is to use the intuition and emotions of ordinary people. Rather than using professional legal knowledge to make a presumption of guilt or innocence. We are the same. We must know that whether it is Xixian delivery or daily fresh, more than 90% of our customers are ordinary people. They use their intuition and simple emotions to identify daily fresh they are evil people, and when they are guilty, they will make these customers hesitate when choosing which website to place an order on. Okay, I think this is worth doing, and the prosecution itself won't cost much, Xiaohu said, and several other shareholders nodded. We will also declare in advance that if we win the lawsuit, all the compensation received will be transferred to the special account of Suishaobang to help more poor farmers. Zexi and Shui will not keep a single point. We will donate the same amount together, Zhang Xiangbei said. Everyone in the conference room laughed, feeling that Zhang Xiangbei's heart was Sima Zhao's heart. This is one piece. Are there any more, Bai Bei? Lu Yun asked. Zhang Xiangbei nodded and said yes. Thank you for your monthly votes from Feng Chen Passerby Ye Buzan, Humor Tribe, Soap You Have Lost Weight Again, Silent Heart, Lu Sandeo, Shachin Mood, Captain Jim, Moral Flame, Chenbei Eyes Hidian, Guzayo Kyokiu, Book Friends 201712210210399930, Book Friends 201710032118033924. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone.